Being a teenager is tough.
There's the constant pressure to be liked.
Endless worrying about college.
Cyberbullying, high expectations, all the negativity.
There's no question. Being a teenager is tough. And what do Wisconsin's teens do when they want to block out the noise and clear their heads?
We play!
Yeah! Research shows that teenagers who participate in high school sports have lower stress levels, more confidence, and greater self-esteem. And then there's the biggest benefit of all.
High school sports are fun.
Not just fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Encourage your teenagers to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school. They'll stress less and smile more. And they'll be laying the foundation for a happier, healthier future.
This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I'm Doug Russell. We start at American Family Field where the Brewers brought their hitting shoes Tuesday night.
Hamilton slices one down towards the left field corner. Fair ball. It hops up into the seats for an automatic double. A snowman in this sixth inning. They put up 8.
Brewers TV with the play-by-play. Milwaukee wins it big over Arizona 13-2. Game 2 is tonight. Brandon Sproat will pitch against Eduardo Rodriguez. Major college basketball news. Both the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments will reportedly expand to 76 teams effective next year. Expansion has been rumored. It's now here. A formal announcement could come as early as next week. To the ice, the Bruins beat the Sabres in overtime 2-1 to stay alive as the Oilers over the Ducks 4-1. Anaheim up 3-1 in that series. The Wild beat the Stars 4-2. Minnesota up 3-2 in that series. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get.
You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got what we got to do. All right, that's all the board got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep it playing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, be here, see puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Says, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Let's get after it on a Wednesday in the good land. Welcome into your favorite little pre-dawn show. It is the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, broadcasting live 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app and streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTubes for the early risers, insomniacs, sociopaths, and others gathered here at 5:02 a.m. I'm Drew Wilson, joined by my pals Billy Schmid and Armen Sarian.
Reporting for duty.
We are reporting for duty on this hot take hump day.
Happy
Might be
hump
a little
day.
compromise today because Billy and I were at the Brewers game last night. When you patrol the pre-dawn hours and you go to a night event, well.
No, it spices up a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit different in the morning.
At least we got that earlier start now. That helps a little bit, right?
Not when they're walking the ballpark in the first 3 innings. The Brewers are putting up a snowman in the sixth. We had, Chad Patrick. Yeah, it's a nice start. 5 innings, pitched pretty well.
The money ball
5
special.
walks.
Almost an Adrian Hauser moment on the mound in between innings right after his warm-up pitches. That was a wild moment. Yeah, so it was not a night Drew, that even ABS could help because there were some good challenges in the ballpark last night, but it was tough to find that strike zone. They could have used a Brewers themed wiffle ball strike zone where you can just see the block and know exactly where it is, because it was struggle to command last night. I don't know. I did feel bad for the young man from Arizona that was sitting out there in the middle of the 6th inning, and every single time another Brewer reached base, I just kept looking over into the right field bullpen saying, come on, stop it now. Stop the damn match. Stop the match. They were not going to pull him, and then ultimately they realized they had to, because I think my man pulled up on like 35 pitches with getting one out and giving up a 6th spot at that point.
For him, the epitome of brutality. I think you're out there as the sacrificial lamb, reminding yourself, I will get a game check. I will get a game check. However, if you're a Brewers fan, you do like it. It straddles the line of, boy, this game's taking a long time, but it's my team doing all the scoring, so I can't be too mad about it. But then it's like, we could quicken the pace. Just think what that game would have been like without the pitch clock, gentlemen. That would have been even worse. But and then Chad Patrick, a very unusual night for him. You mentioned it, Billy. Kind of had the moment. He was saying I couldn't see, and these things like that. Almost had the Adrian Hauser moment. But this was like,
walked 5 guys before he gave up a hit.
Five, but that's coming off an 8, setting down 8 in a row. So it was just feast or famine. But hey, listen, if they're happening like that every night, I'm still taking it as a Brewers fan. No question about it. A fantastic offensive outburst for the Brewers. But
beat the Snakes.
Yeah, that was one of those Moneyball specials last night. Taking walks.
And Merrill Kelly pitched for the Diamondbacks, and he wasn't great either. Neither pitcher was very sharp. He got a lot of ground balls, but not a lot of he wasn't on his game either.
Luckily, he was able to serve up, though, the most important swing and the one that broke the drought. The people are finally fed as a ball goes over the wall off the bat of a Brewer, and from everyone's selection, and the one that probably had to be near the bottom of the barrel of odds at the Potawatomi Sportsbook to hit one out last night. Armen's boy, Sal Frelick.
He did it. Salvatore did it. And the thing is, Billy, I thought you had predicted it on air yesterday, and I was really working hard. Well, I was working for a little bit hard this morning trying to find the audio, but I couldn't. But I think you mentioned it yesterday that he was going to do it, or he could do it, or something like that. But sorry, I couldn't find the audio, but I wanted to
I appreciate you trying to give me some credit for that.
Give me some credit, yeah.
Drew, that would be like one of those moments where I'll definitely take the scoop and score into the end zone. I don't even remember.
I think he did say it.
Let's go. Okay.
But it's funny, you watch Sal hit a home run.
Homered on opening day, and then again last night.
And waits to step on one until the end of April.
But my man, that was his first multi-hit game too, so it was a lot different April for him this year.
Second multi-hit game.
Second, okay. I don't want to cheat him. I don't want to cheat him.
Yeah,
but it feels like he swings as hard as possible to get it over that wall. It's like the old Brady Clark special.
He hasn't been
he
hasn't been himself really at the plate. But if he gets hotter, and who knows,
watch out. Yeah,
it's a game of streaks, man.
It really is at this point too. It's just keeping your head above water, right? Like you're trying anything and everything you can to keep yourself at bay. Not too surprising though, because Sal hits that in the second inning, leaves off the second inning with it. Drew, I didn't realize they were doing super sweet entrance videos for Sal Frelick when he was leading off an inning. They had about a 35-40 second video of Sal base hits and mashes and a couple of bat flips in there, and then he answers it right after. It felt like he was coming down the ramp, and then to save the season was my man Andrew Hoffman of Joliet, Illinois, because that young man, I felt bad as he's out there, because we're starting the inning by making fun of the picture that he had on the Jumbotron, because it kind of looked like he was half ready for his profile picture. And by the end of it, you just couldn't make fun of him because he felt too bad. As Torey Lovello was just saying, "Don't worry about it, kid.
Yeah, you got to wear this one.
Don't worry about it, kid. We got a one-way ticket for you after this. So enjoy the catering on your way out.
Your ERA is going to take a pounding, and you might be headed to wherever their AAA team is. You might be headed there because you're not going to be able.
It's Arizona though. I can't imagine their AAA spot is too bad. Maybe it's Sedona.
Yeah. No.
Maybe
it's a high priced. Yeah. It used to be Tucson. I'm not sure where they are now. But
I will work on that. I will effort that information soon. But an interesting game last night. You had Woodford with the I was really excited because I'm like, we're going to get the old-fashioned 3-inning save, which is rarity kind of for the scorer.
Pretty good.
Extraordinaire, Drew. But
man.
Anytime, it didn't matter what the lead is, right? If you end the last 3 innings, that's like the old school
you get
save.
The win, 3 innings. If you pitch the last 3, you get the save.
I don't know. Maybe
the rules.
Maybe I wouldn't be bad for Andrew Hoffman to go down to AAA. The Reno Aces.
There you go.
Reno.
Good town.
I was going to say, there could be a lot worse towns that you could be playing ball in. Come on now.
My birthday trip last year was to Reno.
Wow, all right. I didn't know
I like
that.
Reno.
Yeah, okay.
I'd never been.
Underrated town, maybe?
Billy Maxwell works there.
Smallest big town. Is that
Smallest big city in
That's
America?
what they
Yes.
call it.
Yeah,
That's what they
pretty
call
cool.
it. Yeah.
So 877-794-1973. We'll be firing up some hot takes as we move along today. But
Robust
Brewers
at
win.
5 a.m. Yeah.
Brewers back at 13-2 victory, and it wasn't that close because of what happened in the sixth inning. But Brewers 2 games over 500, trying to keep pace with the rest of the division. Cubs beat the Padres last night in kind of an exciting tilt.
Yeah, I was listening to some of it on the route home and on the way home. They've found a ton of ways to win games as of late. I mean, there's the beginning of the year where they were finding every way to find somebody onto the IL, and instead now they're blasting bombs left and right. And last night out slugging a Padres team who that NL West, I don't know that it was it should be surprising, Drew, but you look up and everybody in the NL Central's got a winning record. Feels that way outside of the Rockies because you can't necessarily put them in any kind of Major League Baseball team. But that NL West, you almost just forget because the Dodgers are such an overlord over everything. Arizona, good ball club. They got a nice lineup when you're looking at it top to bottom last night.
Indeed.
And obviously San Francisco spends money. And there are the Padres where they might be one of the more fascinating teams in the sport. We were just talking about them 2 weeks ago, getting sold at what, $3.9 billion, while also having their television rights broadcasted by the league, one of the first teams to have to do that, as well as one of the larger payrolls in the sport. So they're one of the more fascinating studies out there. But the Cubs have continued to beat up on the bottom feeders, and now they went out and earned one last night.
Yeah, and when keeping with the theme, everybody in the Central won except Pittsburgh last night, who had to play a Central team. So once again, the NL Central strong.
Was that the Cardinals that got them?
Yes, that is it. So there you go. And then Reds did get a win as well. So
just according to the interwebs and the X, you're aware of the scoregami that gets everybody excited? No, Armen loves the scoregami when you get an NFL score that's never happened.
Those are always fun. Yeah.
Apparently, Chad Patrick's blurry visioned pitching line last night was a pitchergami.
Really?
Now that's a sicko that's
a
going
line
in
that has never happened
up.
in Major League history. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Never happened before.
How is that possible?
It's the 78th pitchergami of this young season and one of 83,302 unique lines on record.
Wow. Is AI figuring this out? Because there's
Who's
no.
I was gonna say,
who's spreadsheeting every pitching line ever and looking for the oddities and stuff.
I don't even think Dave Gasper could do that.
That's what I just
like. You gotta really be loving ball.
You took the words out of my mouth. Not even Dave.
You are loving ball at a different level when you're going through the pitching lines and trying to dock which ones. Also,
don't let me forget too to talk about these boys up in the press box last night. There's a little storyline there.
Well, it was a great start.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, Drew had the picture up this morning, but like,
go ahead, Bill.
What did my man say? 78th pitchagami this year. That's not that special.
That's a great point.
That's like
78th.
We got to be on like 2 a night then at this point at the end of April. I'm really proud of that guy for sitting back though, counting those up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not that unique when you have 78 different ones, but I mean,
30 games.
How many total?
It's innings pitched, hits, earned runs, walks, and strikeouts that have never been seen before. If
my man was really grinding, he'd throw.
It's got 23,000 followers.
That's awesome.
We've been playing baseball since the Civil War.
A follow for that.
Well, that's okay, but it's like this. It's like the StatCast era. My man's not going to go through Honest Wagner's games to figure out what the scoregamis and pitchagamis were back in the 1800s.
Well, Baseball Reference, It's there. I mean, you can go back and look at those American Association games. I don't understand what then it's not real. I'm sorry, Billy. Then someone's out there trying to just go viral.
Well, then sacks aren't real because they didn't count those the entire time that they've been playing football.
This is true.
How about the guys that superimpose the 3-point line on Pistol Pete? Oh, he would have scored 96 points this game and stuff like that. But that is pretty amazing, Drew, to pull that one out. And you
saw it,
and you hang out with all you guys are a community, all the official scorers.
Saber guys, you guys. The Society for American Baseball Research.
But hey, that's still pretty cool. I didn't even know that thing was being tracked, the pitchergami. Like for the pitching lines and stuff like that.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more
All right,
you
we're
know.
going to get to the shenanigans of the press box and our friend, and we'll get to Hunter Baumgart's recap from the ballpark, but it was flannel night. I walked in the press dining room and felt like I was suddenly at an up north lodge, or I was in Bayview or something.
Oh, so I was going to say, did you get the invite? Did you get
heard about it. I was, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I don't wear the ribbon. I'm not going to.
Drew, this is one of the wildest kind of baseball media aesthetic or wardrobe aesthetic events since we went in our pajamas 10 years
That's
ago.
true. That is true. Since the Matt
pitch.
Harvey game, since the Matt when we wore bathrobes.
Felt you were
can't forget that.
You met
Well,
up north or at a Nirvana concert in 94.
More interesting though. Our show is about the fans. It's about the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Always.
there were some fans last night in the 400 level. They happened to be sitting in section 420, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, now we're talking. Okay.
now.
Love why they were doing
But Ted Perry did a story. I guess last night's game was on Fox 6 and was on one of those regional local. You can get it over the air games.
Oh, I'm glad we're leading with this. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Ted Perry did the story, and a friend of mine was involved in this group that brought spaghetti dinners to the ballpark because they were testing the limits, and it's something that happened, I think, on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But you can bring your own food and snacks as long as they're in clear bags, and they tested limits. They brought spaghetti, noodles, sauce, meatballs, and garlic bread, along with like paper plates / bowls.
I saw Parmesan cheese on there too. That's next level thinking. Yeah,
my buddy Eric, also known as Burt Lauderdale, local weatherman and beer aficionado, who has his own beer from Broken Bat.
I love that.
Burt Lauder Ale. He's a local character, weatherman impersonator, and just local character, bearded kid, as we call him. He was part of this group that did that, and Ted Perry did a story on it, and there's all kinds of pictures on social of these guys enjoying their own catered spaghetti dinner at the old ballpark. Because what says baseball more than eating a spaghetti dinner with meatballs
with
and
vodka
garlic
sauce?
bread?
Yeah, exactly.
Few things impress me about this really quick. And I said it to Billy because I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't know, saw it on Twitter, obviously, just from the regular guy's account or someone's account about his whole, process of bringing the spaghetti dinner into the game. And I'm like, don't know if Billy's going to see this because you're on your phone, obviously, but you're at the game. So I'm like, I better send this to Billy. This might be good for Hero of the Day. And then once then I realized once it hit the right side of X on that trending, Brewers fan, like it was one of the top stories, Brewer fans bring spaghetti, that this story is metastasized into something bigger than I could even imagine. And everyone's talking about it, that this cat that brought spaghetti, and now I'm impressed he brought the long noodles, linguine, whatever it is. Because if you're
going to do it, you might as well do it right. You're not going to skimp out on penne. That's going to be way too tough to be able to poke over.
Rigatoni or something.
No, we're not doing ziti noodles here.
No. I think the sauce is the toughest part. Anyone can bring in noodles,
Well, just an extra bag of sauce.
Sure.
Like a lot of people just mix. They would just dump the noodles.
I was going to say I would have probably dumped the sauce in with the noodles. Now, granted, you might get a little bit soggy at that point, but it's definitely going to be better. Yeah. And it's also not going to be maybe scalding hot. There was a lot of things.
It's not scalding hot. So where do you stand on this hot take hump day on like some cold spaghetti?
Well, the cold spaghetti is something that I am much more in favor of. I don't know that I am in favor of cold spaghetti inside of the baseball stadium. I still don't know how I would fully react if my man next to me busted out 5 freezer bags and started making a 3-course that's amore combo right next to me and then whips out the garlic bread. I don't know that I fully appreciate it if I was sitting next to him. However, I gotta love and tip my cap to testing the limits of whatever they're going to tell you.
Maybe they need to do this again because Sal Frelick had himself his best night of the season.
That's the thing. If I would have known that, if I would have been in on the party, if I would have gotten the heads up on flannel night, might have went to Goodwill and gotten a flannel. If I would have been in on it being an Italian night, I'd have brought some sauce. We would have been able to have some fun in the bleachers as well.
You do have the Italian sausage anyway. You already have mascot for it. You could do a whole Sal's Pals thing. The funny thing is last year was the power of friendship. This year is the power of pasta. I'm down with the power of pasta. Are you kidding me?
Power of pasta.
Let's make it happen.
Brewers are unbeaten when people smuggle a pasta dinner into American family.
I was going to say, I think we got to test that limit tonight. Somebody else has got to do it now.
Bring
tonight.
back the Italian night jerseys.
What other foods could we what other feasts could we have of bring your own?
That's a great question.
Well, it'd be blasphemous to bring your own, like a bag of brats and a bag of buns. Like you can't do that. They sell those.
And that's not also difficult. I mean, that's what everybody's done.
No, this would have been next level if they would have sat down and everybody had their own
not a blanket, but their own red and white checkered
Sure,
tablecloth
yeah.
lap blanket, you know?
That's what I was going to say. Did this go full family style and we just put it in the middle and then everybody goes scoop it in and we roll it this way?
They were serving it out of the big freezer bags into bowls. So.
When I went on the tour last year, the young man who was doing the tour did like very excitedly say, "Oh, you can bring in anything. You can bring in a birthday cake into this place.
It's amazing.
As long as it is not alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's a drink, it's sealed and not glass.
Now,
you can bring in whatever you want.
I see people bring in their sub sandwiches and stuff, cousin subs. And
Done that, absolutely.
Go to town, bags of chips, their own bags of peanuts.
Yeah.
You know me, I've long
bags of whatever.
Anything. I've long appreciated that you can do carry-in still at Brewers games. I said it's one of the most unique things still in this day and age in 2026 to bring in some stuff that you bring in. Really,
in the
I love
50s
that.
and into the early 60s, you could bring your own cases of beer.
Yeah, and that's why you still see me at NASCAR races when they tell you can bring a 30 rack in there. Goodness gracious, I'll put that up underneath the table and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I should be the one that fully endorses this. I don't know that I can fully get behind having an entire Sunday dinner, which is basically what they did when they brought out the garlic bread and grandma's sauce and made sure that they whipped up some spaghetti in the 400s.
Well, I mean,
like I am all in if it is a handheld food. When you need a full plate, that's going to be a tough thing for me to sell at the ballpark.
Well, with toddlers, you can't do it either, but you have to think of the situation. I'm also not doing it in the middle of July.
I don't think any of those guys were bringing toddlers in when I was getting a look at the squad. I don't think any of them were bringing kids to the ballpark.
So the situation's got to be right, Billy, right? For something like that, I would say.
I don't know that the situation's ever right is what I'm saying, Armen. I don't know that I endorse that situation ever being right to have a spaghetti dinner in the 400 level.
You know what? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to tell you I endorse it. I fully endorse it. I know it's a little extra, maybe – a little bit of main character energy. Say, hey, look at me, I brought spaghetti in. But I think he enjoyed his night at the ballpark. It is a lot of work involved. Billy, you're right, though. What do you take it from here? I mean, you bring a brief stroganoff in, a whole setup like chili pots and pass out.
Well, the real one is you walk in, you bring yourself a full rotisserie chicken.
That's it right there. Just bring
that might be next level.
I mean, that's the next one, right? What? There's no shame in this game. We can slice this thing up right here in the Loge level.
Also, it's a lot easier. I mean, you can just stop in the way from Pick and Save, stop in the way and keep it in the plastic thing. It's covered. It's good. It's still hot. We walk in, we sit down, everybody grab a piece. Grab a thigh, grab a breast, grab a leg. That's what it is. So I'm just of the rotisserie chicken. So maybe
rotisserie chicken might
that's
be
the
next level.
Chicken and potatoes.
That might. This is a discussion that could sustain us for the next 2 hours.
I was gonna. Well, I mean, it's hot. Drew, I can't say that I anticipated it trending across
pretty wild
social media.
Well, listen, and if you wonder if they're up at 5 a.m., I mean, our
Tuesday night in
crazy.
April. We'll talk about that as we move forward. We've got We've got a hot take. Oh, this is just going to be a hot take bonanza. Manna from heaven. Hot take hump day with the development in the NCAA yesterday. We'll talk about that as we move forward. We'll talk about your Brewers. We'll talk about it is April 29th, almost a week since the reports came out. Do you know where your Bucks coach is? All of that and more as we move forward with the Wednesday edition of The Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin.
It was a work.
we know the spaghetti policy of the MLB, we decided we'd like to partake. And so we brought in...
Wait, Major League Baseball has a spaghetti policy?
They do now. Major League Spaghetti. Major League Baseball allows spaghetti in all stadiums.
And you guys made your own?
We made our own. We brought our own individual pasta, sauce, meatballs, garlic bread. Plates, and fresh grated Parmesan.
I love it.
Which we have footage of, by the way.
That
fun at the old ballpark on a Tuesday. That club was going up.
Oh, they were having some fun up there, dude.
That's
a hell of a section.
420.
And meatballs, probably the most impressive part.
Well, the garlic bread too.
Well, yeah,
it was a balanced Italian meal.
They brought their own. They didn't skimp the idea. It wasn't just let's bring a couple spaghettis in, you know?
We were talking about what foods would be the best, most portable. And like I said, I just can't in good conscience see people bringing in a bag of hot dogs or brats and a bag of buns. That's just like that.
Well,
you're undercutting the tradition of the ballpark of buying a hot dog at the ballpark.
Well, and that also would be like, I feel like it's always in bad taste. It's never the best thing, but if you're going out to lunch and one of your buddies goes, man, I'm having a sandwich. I'm not going to have a burger here at BK. If that guy goes and sits in the booth with you and everybody else is eating that, he's eating a Subway sandwich. That's somewhat acceptable. Now, if he would have walked over to the Arches, then that's just spitting in the face of the business. If you're going with something that they don't serve, I don't hate it. Now, I see a lot of pictures online of people just eating it straight up out of the bag. So this has been, because under the MLB spaghetti, there is no official policy, but there are a ton of people doing this across the country. Especially, it looks like Baltimore. People are loving bringing in just Chef Boyardeeing it into the ballpark.
Now, that's a little different because you're in a can. It's an aluminum can.
Not in the can. I said in a bag.
Well,
I was joking about it.
I know, but like if you have Boyardee, could you bring that in? Because you need the can opener then. So you had to put it in the bag is my point. I like Chef Boyardee. That'd be pretty good. Some ravioli.
Believe it's got to be in a plastic bag.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Clear plastic bag.
You can't bring that aluminum can, right?
That's right.
So
877-794-1973. Fun at the old ballpark on a Tuesday night. Now, it was a lightly attended game last night, and it
was open.
We comment all the time. If you listen to the show, you know our motto. There's no I in team, but media starts with me. This is, in our industry, kind of low tide. You got some NBA, NHL playoffs where the draft is in the rear view. We're kind of hunkering down for the summer months when it's, as our pal El Baldo would say, it's low tide on the sports calendar. Baseball's, a month old. We're still, teams are still getting their footing. It takes till Memorial Day to kind of know, what kind of squad you got.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Oh yeah, it takes a little while for sure.
Right now, are you
still change your batting average? 25 points in a night, 30 points in a night.
In a week, you can go from like batting 100 to batting 350. And I'm not ready to write off the Mets and Phillies totally yet. They got some high-priced talent that's going to come through eventually, right? The regression to the mean is real.
Well, and especially that's why you do it now, right? That's why you do the Rob Thompson move, you would assume now, to be able to kickstart something and wake something up because, those teams with those salary caps, I think we've seen too many teams get buried way earlier than they should be.
So it's low tide in the sports calendar, but it's also low tide, I think, in terms of the Brewers and the product, like the attendance. Like it's a Tuesday night. And Billy, you hit it just before we hit the air. It's like we're in between spring break and the end of the school year.
Oh, yeah.
People are kind of bunkered. They're kind of anchored at home right now. And we're just riding it out. We're coming up on Mother's Day. Like, all right, so the Brewers win the first couple of weeks. It's a novelty thing. Hey, baseball's back. Cool. Let's go check it out. And now it's like, okay, we're settling into having it every day as our companion.
For sure.
And, I don't think it's a reflection of us as a sports town because we've always been weekend driven and big event driven. Like having the Yankees here on a weekend would be big. If the Yankees had been in last night, there would have been a considerably bigger crowd.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll
23,000.
Yeah,
look that
probably was generous. There might have been some people that bought the $7 tickets for the night and decided not to go.
This is a night when people, it's like school night. Where a lot of kids like with their late spring activities, choir concerts, plays.
Yes.
We're
just starting into the beginning of travel ball, and you got tryouts and probably practices rolling in there.
It's that kind of crossover between the spring sports and the summer sports a little bit. So, it was just one of those nights. So this is like a low tide series for the Brewers.
They picked a good time to be able to discount the tickets to $7 into the outfield and bleachers, right? Like, so this was one of those.
That's not an accident.
No, it's smart because, Drew, like you just said, it's in between the time where you have to incentivize people to go do stuff. You just finished up spring break, probably spent a lot more money than you planned on doing on that vacation.
Yep.
And now you're gearing up and eyeing up what you're going to do in summer and putting those reservations down. The last thing you think about is doing something on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. But it is one of them that come fresh off a weekend that I think they averaged 35,000 in there this weekend and touched 40 with that windbreaker that everybody really enjoyed. It'll be festive throughout, but it's definitely time where, I mean, they don't do this like in the minors where they gave you a $6 beer night, but this wouldn't be the bad time to fire up a High Life special in the ballpark as well, because it's clear that it's going to be a lower tide for this month until you get to June, because there's just too much stuff going on.
But it is also, I always say it's voucher season where, if you got those free ticket vouchers from Fan Appreciation last year, or from the pick and save or whatever you're doing, this is the time to use them, right? Weekday games, the night games, non-marquee opponents. So this is also voucher season during the week. And I would imagine that this is kind of common across sports, across the MLB landscape. I don't know what the average attendance was last night in across baseball, but yeah, I mean, this is what we do. This is that time of year. But it also is great if you want an opportunity to get some value. You can find better deals, like you mentioned, Billy, that the ticket deal. You can bring in your own spaghetti. You can do all those things.
Now, I'm Drew. You said you're familiar with one of the individuals. A buddy of yours was one of the podcast guys. Okay, because I got to figure out. Are we sure this wasn't a plant? Because if it was, it might have been a well schemed one. Because it coincidentally happened on the same day that the Brewers put out a couple new theme nights, one including Top Chef Night. Bravo Night featuring Top Chef with James Beard celebrating culinary-inspired night at the ballpark. Was this potentially a little bit of a tease into the 400s? Now, that one's going to be in the club level coming up on May 26th, but was this potentially a work?
Well, that's a good question.
That would be a genius play.
I don't think they're playing into that.
It would be, but I don't know the last time I've been to a James Beard restaurant and they had spaghetti and meatballs. Although don't go to James Beard restaurants.
I was going to say, you've never been to one of those. So.
But you never really know. I mean, we have talked. I'm forgetting our buddy's name, who's the chef there at
Adam Pavlak?
Yeah, well, not Adam. Well, Adam, yes, of course, but we talked to our guy at the stadium, Billy, once. That was the chef who's coming up with new foods for the sweets and stuff like that. They might be always tinkering with new ideas and new recipes. So maybe we'll see this jump on some sort of the concession tradition. Maybe the next thing, along with the
it would be an easier one than
night.
Potentially rolling through with the pocket pancakes special that they started selling last year.
But they do try, and that's kind of the point. So the Packers, the Brewers might jump on this in some way or one or the other. But yeah, I mean, wow, just casually coinciding with Top Chef.
I don't know. That seems interesting.
I don't think it was a work. I think these guys, I could see them doing this on any random Tuesday, given the merry band of pranksters that they are.
Now, you mentioned also with this situation with the spaghetti that it was kind of more sparsely attended up in the terrace level where they were. And that's what you need too. You need some room for this.
There was a lot of comfort at the ball.
There was a lot of room.
You could spread out.
It was open last night.
It was open.
You
it
need
was
room
get
to
your own
spread
foul
out.
ball night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
Yep. 877-794-1973 talk and text line number. Hot Take Hump Day will fire up officially coming up after 6.
Our guy Jeff in Milwaukee got a picture of the guys up into the 400 level, spread out, feet up, kicked up, having some of mom's meatballs. I was at the Brewer game last night as well with my parents and sister, and a friend of my sister sent them the link to the video, and then we were able to spot these boys. Not surprising when we found out they were in 420. It does all make sense now.
Yeah.
Now, it would be, I would potentially have to be happy place hemped up to be eating spaghetti out of a bag at the ballpark. Like even as large and a fellow fat as I am, that would be a tough one for me to be able to roll through.
Just to accept the reality that you're doing it.
It was not a horrible night last night. The roof and panels were closed. Not surprising.
Oh, it was good in there. It was nice in there. Yeah.
It was very pleasant under the dome.
Yeah.
I mean, but in terms of tailgating, like to me, it's like you just took your tailgate inside. What if you had like one of my formative memories of my youth was attending the Grateful Dead concert at Alpine Valley, and as we're rolling in, there's a guy who's obviously on tour with the Dead, and he had a little mini Smokey Joe grill set up and was selling water and making plates of spaghetti with sauce and selling a paper plate with spaghetti and sauce for $1 a plate.
I think that kind of makes the point, though, right? Grateful Dead concert. That I could see. That would make a lot. That would play into it.
That's how this guy was sustaining himself, selling food to stoned, hungry pelicans out in the parking lot.
It was brilliant because the margins are good.
Yeah, it was like paper plates, $1 for a paper plate. Now, did I partake? I will say, full disclosure, I did not, because I was like, that was my first time with that group of people, and I thought this might be laced. I might be tripping.
Yeah. I might
be tripping balls during the show. I might be tripping more than meatballs.
That might not just be vodka sauce that we got over here. I don't know exactly what we're making.
I don't know what herbs he was using. Was that oregano?
To that point, though, I mean,
and
Billy,
it,
what was that? Oregano or basil or fennel seeds?
Or was it,
yeah. To your point, Billy, and Mike would ask the question, what would Billy bring in if he brought the food in for the night? I mean, it'd be easy for Billy.
Ribs?
Because he'd smoke those ribs.
Smoke some ribs and bring them in.
And Mike, I don't know if you listen.
Bring in the ribs, man. Ribs?
Yeah, he brought in.
So
a dry rub, I think we could feel a little better about.
And then, but with an extra bag.
That's perfect.
Of the sauce.
Yeah.
And then you just cut the corner of the bag and use it like a piping bag.
There you go.
Look at you.
And get that sauce on there.
Your
plate.
Maybe it's just me. I have a hang up with the sauce. I think the sauce is the hang up for me.
I'm kind of
with sauce is the boss.
It's a boss decision. Again, maybe I'm just not cool enough. I am definitely in on. I appreciate the hustle. I just feel like I'm going through my hands.
I don't feel like these people did this to get on TV.
I agree.
It was more of a jokey thing, and then someone saw it, and then they were going to post it on social.
I think the Brewers could.
Eric is pretty good at the social.
The Brewers have to be so happy though. It came out right on the same time. Let's get Top Chef Night in here. Let's try to best this guy. Yeah. They should do beat Bobby Flay in the 400s with your mom's meatballs.
That's good stuff.
He still would somehow whip it up
best
and beat
meal you can smuggle in. I want some foie gras. I want some pate. Armen
starts bringing in some caviar. We're gonna have some problems.
Here comes Mike trying to brag. He said, "I bring a medium rare ribeye with mushrooms and onions in a clear bag." See, now if you can tailgate it. Like if you can make it in the parking lot, then bring it.
But you're eating it caveman style, right? Unless you're not grabbing a plastic fork or knife that they have at the ballpark, are you?
That's why you need a tomahawk, not a ribeye, not just a ribeye. The tomahawk with the big bone, so you can eat it off the bone. Yeah,
they might have a problem. You bring it in on that might categorize as a weapon.
It might because I don't know how
you might not be able to bring the big bone in.
Pause. And I don't know how you bring. I don't know how you bag it up either. Pause because it has to be covered up, right?
Yeah.
Is it you put it in foil?
See.
Yeah, does that count?
You got to wrap that thing.
What about meatloaf? Not about meatloaf. Somewhat.
All right.
Bring
some meatloaf, but meatloaf to me is like if it's going to be portable, it's a sandwich food.
Yeah, 100%. Now you're not throw on a bun.
I'm bringing in a baguette
and
a meatloaf, and that is actually viable, Armen. You slice it before you put it in the plastic bag.
Meatloaf sandwich is
meatloaf sandwich is good. Maybe a little mashed potato.
I had a buddy in college that used to do tacos.
All right, somebody brings in mashed potatoes. That might be a next. All
right, our buddy Ben from down the hall, he came in and said fish fry. Bring your own, assemble your own fish fry with, you got a bag of tartar sauce, you got a bag of rye bread,
and you just go to full pound there in the
and
threes.
You bring it in.
Wow. It's not a bad idea because you can heat it up in the parking lot.
Doable, especially during the Lenten season. All right. 877-794-1973. We are looking for your hottest of hot takes coming up. We'll discuss a lot of the stuff that, the NBA is trying to tweak its postseason, and so's the NCAA.
Oh, wow.
We'll get into all of that.
They're mad.
As we move forward, it's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. This portion of the program brought to us by Game Day Men's Health. Check them out online. Make that appointment. If it's just it's the little things. We talk about stacking success.
Oh, that's a good one, Coach. Yes.
Just go online to Game Day Men's Health, find a clinic near you, surf around, look at what they offer, and then go in and then meet the people. You get a little blood draw, and then they walk you through what your levels look like and what you can benefit from. Lots of guys go in there, and they're trying to get in. Some guys are bodybuilders in great shape. Some guys are trying to get in shape. Doesn't matter where you are in your life. They can help you. Weight loss, they've got it. ED, they've got it. Like they've got testosterone replacement just to help your energy, your mood. I have a friend who's been doing testosterone replacement therapy for 20 years, and he said it saved his life. He said he doesn't think he'd be married, and he might not be alive if it was not for testosterone replacement therapy. He was battling depression, and he's never looking back. So just check it out. Avail yourself of the free looky-loo at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with our friends at Game Day Men's Health. All right. We've having a good time talking about the little buffet that people brought to the ballpark last night. And full disclosure, a friend of mine's, my buddy hilarious. Eric's wearing the Savannah Bananas jersey, if you see the video.
I wonder if he's going to be at the Banana Ball coming up in June.
That's right.
It's going to be an exciting night.
He's at everything. It's between that guy and Dashiell Young, you'll see
see him everywhere. Milwaukee's guys.
Everywhere.
That's the best. Dash is everywhere. No
doubt.
They're
they're everywhere. Absolutely. Dashiell, by the way, has a couple of cameos in the Pat McCurdy documentary.
I was going to say, if there's enough things around Milwaukee, he's going to be in it.
Of course.
He's probably on the production crew.
Dashiell, one of my oldest and dearest friends in the city, and he's everywhere. There's just no question. In fact, going back to when my daughter was born, and you guys will appreciate this too, because when a kid's born, like Dashiell came to the hospital before we even left the hospital. Before I even took the kid home, he left, and he's holding the child. And
that's amazing.
And back in those days, before it was phones and stuff, we had actual photo albums and stuff. And our daughter was like 9 months old, and one of my wife's friends came over and was looking at an album of the birth and like the earliest days of our daughter's life. And then she's like, "Is that Dashiell Young?"
You better believe it's Dashiell in there. Come on now.
He was in the respects.
It was basically like the hospital room, the delivery. Like, he was in the hospital. He's everywhere.
Everywhere, dude.
I'm like,
he ain't missing it. Come
much.
on now.
Not only that, he was making like networking connections in the waiting room.
No question.
You know
no
what I mean?
question.
So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin chimes in on the YouTube chat. Remember, you can always chime in. It's hot and heavy today. It's brisk. It's intense. He says, I am a 20 game pack holder for years, and I brought this up from cousins every game I go to. Subs in baseball, always a good time.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Sub is the easy one, right?
That's not even a reach.
No, that feels like a layup.
But now this might be a pioneering moment, because you see elaborate tailgate setups, and for all the talk and people, like, it does seem like the football tailgates are a little bit more detailed,
always more
than
intense.
The baseball ones. It's a little more intense.
Once a week, you got a whole week the game plan for what you're doing. And you're trying to show off a little bit. That's fair.
Your average run of the mill, it's like, let's just do this, and it's like, we got this down, and it's like the pit crew changing a tire or something.
Oh, for sure.
But that baseball,
we got Cindy. Approach. She's here on flags. All right, we get that thing rolling here. Now they pop up the table here. You got to have at least 2 tables worth of sides, and then the main spread.
At football games, like you got a DJ booth, and
for sure.
Totally different.
You're not busting many TVs out in the parking lot of American Family
You have
Field.
some sort of like carnival gambling
bit more rudimentary.
Game. Yeah, you have shut the box or a gambling game somehow.
The idea of catering and taking your own food in the Ziplocs, in the gallon freezer bags, and bringing your own feast in. This might become a thing. This could become like, all right, what can we spread out here? And my idea of having
who's bringing a beef Wellington in? That's what I want to know. I really want to know if we're stepping up our game.
I want the red and white tablecloth with a hole in the middle, so a poncho. So you're wearing like especially if you're going to do an Italian theme, because they could have brought in some deep dish pizza and stuff too.
Yeah,
you could
have had some lasagna if you're thinking about it.
So
that's the first thing I thought of, Billy. A plate of tray lasagna.
Ostensibly, you could bring in a couple of those little Caesars boxes, or a couple of
you could easily put
pizza boxes.
The first thing I thought is this feels like a Costco pizza day for me. Like I roll the Costco, you're stuffing that pizza bag as full as possible.
Speaking of Costco, I think it would be blasphemous to bring in your own brats and dogs, because they sell those, and that's really part of the experience.
You shouldn't bring in anything that you can buy in there. Now,
well, except for peanuts.
But that's extending now.
Yeah, except for peanuts.
Well,
no.
I mean, I just had tacos last night.
Okay,
I don't know that anybody's bringing in corn tortillas and everything.
You could.
But if you're talking about the amount of Ziploc bags, I could bring in 5. I got my diced onions. I got my cilantro. I got my. That one feels like an easy layup.
I mean, I saw somebody asking to bring in a Chipotle bowl. I'm like, brother, you can always been allowed to bring in anything. Basically,
Taco bar's not a bad one. So it's like the self-catering idea at the ballpark. But the point is that if you did heat it up and carry it in, that's a little bit of a convenience, I guess. But
you have to be okay eating something cold, I think. That's what it comes down to. Like, because it's going to be hard to heat it up.
That's why the sub is such an
A1 thing, right?
All right, well,
you can heat it up on the grill outside, or if you have a microwave.
I'm going to bring in that family-size meal deal from KFC.
I was going to say bucket of chicken would be a nice one to have.
That seems like a great idea. Fried chicken.
Are you going to have, with the stadium?
The bones, you're throwing them right down there with the peanut shells.
And then that was what I was going to say. Does the stadium now have to look into, hey, nothing with a bone in it? Pause. Right? Like we got to eliminate the possibilities. I mean, they're not letting you keep the bottle caps for crying out loud, thinking that it could be a weapon.
You could throw a chicken bone at somebody.
Oh golly,
this is going to be a headache for these guys because the people are going to try and keep
assume PR is having a heck of a morning.
They're going to keep. I think it's smart to lean into it and to make it fun and market it.
Hey, don't bring in your own spaghetti. We got some now.
But where do you draw the line and how do you define it when everyone's trying to stress the policy of bring? Like you said, how about the cat that brought the rotisserie duck into the hockey game? To throw on the ice.
That's fair.
All right, so I thought that was just a chicken. It wasn't a duck.
Well, maybe it was.
It was a chicken that was meant to be.
It meant to be a duck. Okay, yeah, it's hard to.
Either way, rotisserie chicken.
Well, and then
that's one of the best values at the grocery store.
Billy's ribs. Do you have to peel them off the bone to get them in past security, or can you have rib bones?
I think ribs are one of the easiest things to
yeah,
make.
See, that's what I'm wondering.
That's where it gets slippery. That's what we might have to check in with somebody. But
you're gonna have to have a conversation about it.
You mentioned Costco, and they're in the news.
Oh,
because for the first time in 40 years, they've altered the $1.50 hot dog deal.
Really? I didn't hear about this. How did I
But
miss
it's
this?
not major.
Oh,
what they've done is they've made $1.50. It's still $1.50 for a hot dog and the fountain soda. But if you want, you can swap the fountain soda for a bottle of water now.
Oh, that's a great move.
If you're going healthy, or if you want
great
the cap
Costco.
As you're shopping, you can cap your drink.
Oh, it's a great move, Costco. More than anything, it's just a pain in the butt to go over there and have to grab it and then hold that cup while I'm walking out here, pushing the cart full of $800 worth of Costco groceries.
Yep. So
most
now they're
important
giving you
thing
the
is
option,
the pizza and the $5.
The healthy option of a water bottle, still $1.50.
Still $1.50. I got to be honest though too. I know that we're in a custard world. We're in Milwaukee where it's some of the best stuff you're gonna find. Dude, you grab that ice cream machine. It's never broken. That ice cream machine over there at Costco too.
Very true.
Never broken. Man.
Very true.
That sounds like
all right.
lunch today.
Shooting shirts are off. We're off and running. Let's get ready for some hot takes. Hot take hump day. You're listening to the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we got more y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Having some fun on a Wednesday. Hot Take Hump Day. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Streaming live for early risers, insomniacs, and sociopaths who are up this early. Facebook, YouTube, and X. We're having some fun at work. They had some fun at the old ballpark last night. Whether you're eating spaghetti in the stands or wearing flannel in the press box.
Oh, yes, that one, too.
Our own friend, Spenser Williams, the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah,
he's been going to events and he covering stuff for us and getting sound and produces around here. Spenser is he's a fashion plate.
Indeed.
That's a way of putting it. Yeah, that's a way to put it.
He's the Farouk of flannel.
I don't know that you there's certain people that have types, right? And when you see Spenser, you know it's flannel season all the time. I think usually that starts in September.
I don't know whether it's a conscious thing, but it is his trademark, his calling card. It's like you see him, if you see him in a non-flannel shirt, you're struck. You're like, whoa, is that Spenser? I don't recognize him.
Day ends in Y. He's got a flannel on.
It's funny because I mean, Spencer's one of the guys that's been here in this building longer than me, right? There's not that many, but there are some. Forever. And he, I don't remember him always wearing flannel in the early days, but it's morphed into that. He's the flannel king now.
He's the flannel king. And as an homage, the rest of the guys in the media decided, let's all wear flannel. And they knew Spenser would because he always does. And so they did it as an homage.
It was a surprise, too.
To Spenser. And they surprised him. And they show up at the pregame, and Murph's like, lumberjack
happening here. Yeah,
lumberjack. I thought I was at a hipster bar in Bayview.
And Murph loves stuff like this.
I walked into the press box dining room last night, and I saw them all there. I'm like, this is like a hipster bar in Bayview where everybody's drinking PBRs.
Yes, 100%. The PBR and a smoke for $3.
Right.
And so they did it, and Murph saw it, and like had to have a picture, and it was Spenser's night. Like that poor guy he doesn't want a lot of attention. He kind of goes under the radar. That's why I call him the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
Right.
But he did it, and they executed that last night. They got some time on TV. A picture with Murph before the game.
That turned out to be a perfect night for it to be a 13-2 game.
Very true.
I'm walking around the concourse and immediately had it at the perfect time because there's a zoom in on Spenser, and I start giggling, and then it zooms out, or a zoom in on Kurt Hogue first, who apparently I believe was the brainchild, as our boy Hunter gave us the heads up on. And then it's the zoom out to Hunter pointing to Spenser, fired up. Our boy Dave Gasper gets the two hands up into the air, and a phenomenal moment. I don't know, Drew. Now this is because Spenser's got maybe one of the better moments and one of the only I can remember live guests outside of the rundown on Packers Preview.
Good point.
Right, because there has not been a whole lot of things that break into Packers Preview and break up the incredible run that Dennis Krause has had of running that show. We get James Jones.
Yep.
Drew Olson. What's Cooking with Wes Hodkiewicz, which is no longer called What's Cooking. I still think it should be called What's Cooking, but that's just because I love What's Cooking.
Of course, we have the early look with Wayne, Larry, and John. So all these guys are on the network, right?
And all of a sudden, when Taylor Swift comes to town, and Spencer gets the video that had 19 million views.
Spencer, the guy
of her walking in,
gets the money shot.
Pause. When all of a sudden pops up and grabs a headset with you guys, I didn't know that it was going to get much better. I think it got topped last night. Do you think this tops his Taylor Swift moment and cameo on Packers preview? Or
I think it might.
This is tough to. This is a great one here.
I think Spencer's starting to morph into like a new level of fame. Like
a little bit of a cult hero.
He's becoming like the guy now that like people are paying attention to. He's asking. I think he's asking questions now in the dugout at the pregame availability with Murph. He used to just be there, right? Hunter says he's asking questions now. He's there with the flannel. Like Murph wanted the picture with him. He's a well-known, he's entering a new stratosphere of fame now.
I hope it doesn't go to his head because I love Spencer. I just don't want him to change with all this newfound fame.
I was happy for him. You're part of the crowd.
And then Murph is like, he embraced it. Like, hey, come on up here. I want to get a picture of this. I want to commemorate this. And it was like cool. 8 or 9 guys paid homage and wore flannel shirts, so it was noticeable.
One thing I gotta say though was that Adam McCalvey in the middle that needs a flannel shirt. That's just a checkered.
He says it was flannel.
I was gonna say
materially, but it was not in the spirit of the lumberjack plaid flannel print that you associate.
I appreciate he wore what he had, which I appreciate, but I mean that's not a true flannel shirt. You know what I mean? So,
but he was trying in the spirit of it. In the spirit of, you wanted to be a part of the crowd.
Look at and Murph's smile. I mean, that we are lucky to be blessed with the right manager and the right coach. There's no other situation like this where,
it does look like though they're at like, hey, Spencer, go sit down next to your uncle. And like they're at some kind of family portrait.
This is like
because they both have that awkward, weird smile on that they're kind of almost ready for the picture to be taken, but not so ready.
Oh man!
Someone's holding in a fart, like trying to make sure that it's not like too loud and not too bad.
The viral moments last night between the spaghetti feast and section 420. Happy Place Hemp should sponsor section.
I was gonna say hit that Huddle promo code up there.
Yeah, promo code Huddle for
25% off and free shipping. Now they won't ship it up to section 420.
No,
they won't do. But you can buy it from section 420 online and have it shipped to your house.
Can't be doing that. But so 2 viral moments separately. One behind the scenes and one out in the open. And the Flannel Fest, which is actually a thing in Madison. Our friends have Flannel Fest. There's a Bayview Flannel Fest too. That made it on TV on the Fox 6 broadcast. And then the guys also got in our guys with the spaghetti. The spaghetti got the flannel.
They had themselves their night. Yeah,
our boys also in the press box got a little burn. So during the broadcast there was some burn. So it was nice.
I like. We have some people on the talking text line, Drew, that are trying to double up on this on this spaghetti now. Now our 715 friend said the Brewers need to capitalize on this. They need to tie in spaghetti night with a t-shirt night and came up with a sweet AI version of what our Sal's Pals t-shirt could look like. Armen and I brought up the Sal's Pals last year, more tongue-in-cheek because Armen hates Sal Frelick.
I don't hate him.
If there's any player that Armen Sarian has actively rooted potentially against from his favorite team more than Sal Frelick, I've never heard of him.
Well, never root against him, but just I pointed out his flaws, and that was
far more than anybody else's shortcomings. And you like to focus on the shortest part of the shortcomings.
Shortcomings, okay.
All right, we're not talking about what he's doing there.
No,
but when he would generally want to remark and denounce his successes, right? Minimize his successes.
Well, which is hard because he looks like my brother.
And no, he doesn't. Okay. But so he came up with the Sal's Pals idea last year, and in the spirit of you and KB, we had a great idea, just bad execution, right? We had planned on it. It sounded like a great idea. T-shirt night, we come up with it, Sal's Pals. Maybe we all stay at Potawatomi during the midday show, roll over to the game, what have you. This might be take 2 because this might be the best version of the AI T-shirt that we found of Sal Frelick on the Sal's Pals.
That's a good-looking shirt. I do like
in the full uniform, crew number 10, him diving for a catch. Much more realistic than him hitting more home runs.
Realistic uniform, but no trademark stuff on there, which I appreciate.
None of it. No,
you can't
for
get
sure.
in trouble for that. So maybe Sal's pals will become a thing if he starts to get more than one hit a game at some point again this year, and he barrels the ball up.
Armen
That'd be
with the
nice.
Backhanded shade.
No,
Okay,
let's start with
so you
the
hear it too.
No, let's start with
this is
If he gets
consistent
more
with
than
this
one
guy.
hit a game, he just had his second multi-hit game of the year.
Yeah, let's
And
start
First home run for the team in a week and a
just
half.
backhanded him.
I'm not back. I'm just stating facts. Like no.
For the guy that
he's still
is
not hitting
ride or
200.
die with your favorite team, like Armen, sorry,
I love Sal.
don't boo the team because their feelings will get
You
hurt.
are
My
a
guy.
Sal Frelick hater.
Just the most open crotch shot that you possibly could have.
Sal's my guy, but I mean, you will never hear anyone talk about him in this town if he's not hitting 200 or he's got a negative WAR like thing. I mean, I would like him to get it going a bit here. We need you, Sal. We counted on you last year. You were great. And let's get it going, and I'm sure he will. So I'm just.
He does.
I like to be a voice for the
skate
voiceless.
above criticism more than like Joey Ortiz does.
Which is like, he's a great guy. And he's also been in all. So I understand why. He's done some things that deserve it. But I tend to be a voice for the
Gold
voiceless,
Glove winner.
not Sal. Sal's got a lot of voices out there. But listen, we're all Sal's pals. No one's cheering against him.
All right. Well,
I just don't expect him always to hit
on an
doubles.
eventful night at the ballpark, what with the flannel shirts and the spaghetti.
Yes.
There was also a baseball game. And this time I think it would be appropriate to go to Hunter Baumgart's
we're
recap
talking.
brought to us by Import Minded for all your auto repair needs on South 27th Street. Let's throw it. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers get a 13-2 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks on Tuesday night at American Family Field. Boy, oh boy, Sal Frelick got the scoring going early with a home run. Brewers' first home run since a week ago Saturday when Terang homered in Miami. So that stops that streak. And then they scored 8 runs in the 6th inning. Frelick started that inning with a single and then a bunt single by David Hamilton. Have you noticed how much David Hamilton is bunting? I asked him about it after the game.
How much has your confidence grown with bunting in the last month or so, seeing the success that you're having with it?
I feel like I've never really been that good of a bunter. I don't really know what happened. I think it was just Murph in spring always telling me to bunt, to use the speed, and just practice it every day, and yeah, it's gotten better.
And also, Garrett Mitchell has been in the middle of the offense all season long. Pat Murphy telling us after the game that he wasn't so sure that Mitchell was ready at the start of the season to be at the major league level. He's proved him wrong.
No, he's hungry. He's hungry. As bad a spring training as you could have, he needed that time. Again, I didn't think he was ready. I thought, hey, send him to AAA, let him get comfortable diving, sliding, and all that kind of stuff. And he's proven me wrong. He's ready, and he's done a really nice job.
So the Brewers get a 13-2 win. They also get a win on flannel night. Yes, a bunch of us wearing the flannel shirts in honor of Spenser Williams, who's been my cameraman for 4+ years for virtually all of my videos on social media, now in the Huddle. So shout out to Spenser. Keep wearing that flannel. This video brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
He got the little box.
Okay.
Well done, Hunter.
Oh my
Baumgart.
God. We're going to have to watch that again. We're going to have to watch that again in that back part. I don't know how much moving and shaking we can do on the video timing. That little cameo from Spenser might be my favorite picture of way better than the
Pretty
picture of all of
Let's-
them at that point.
Why don't we spin that again in the 7 o'clock hour? That way it'll be enough
Yeah.
separation. We'll
Thank
watch
you.
it over again. And for those
Oh,
of you
my
that want to
Lord.
see it again, you'll have another shot.
And you can
next
get
hour.
and you can get to YouTube because if you were listening to that on the radio, you missed out so much on that little second screen of our boy Spenser. That was
Wow,
awesome
that was
moment.
just
Oh,
awesome.
God.
So
I'm not gonna figure out how to do that.
we're talking a lot about Spenser, right? And we
Let's do
should.
it. Let's do
Because
it.
he's the
Should
guy
talk
behind
more
the guy
about Spenser,
behind
yes,
the guy.
yes.
He's Hunter's cameraman, and he's a guy that gets sound, and he's one of the, guys like Spenser, kind of the guys they're part of the fabric of the local media crew. And there's a handful of guys like that, right, that are just and it changes through the generations. But Spencer's been around a long time now, and he's kind of like a guy that you
Long
see
time, dude.
in the
Yes.
press box. But it's like to have a personal style thing that people notice that you're known for is kind of cool. Like the Steve Jobs thing, like always wearing the same, black mock.
Yes.
Thing, like there's something to be said for that it stands out and that people know you by. And I was thinking about this because had we done this, I had a buddy, John Lowe, that was a longtime baseball writer for the Detroit Free Press. And he was, he always nattily attired. He would wear sport coats regularly and often ties to a normal Tuesday game. And he was known for a fedora. And like Tracy Ringlesby wore the cowboy hat. And he was the cat in the hat because he was a cowboy, lived in Wyoming.
That fires me up.
And he would drive to, he had a house in Wyoming.
And he knew some tricks.
And he knows some tricks. Yeah. His daughter's named Laramie. That's how cowboy he is.
Wow.
He's from a
That's
total Wyoming guy.
phenomenal.
Big Wyoming cowboy fan. Named his
That is
daughter
awesome.
Laramie.
Not even Cheyenne.
So,
Laramie.
yeah, I think he might have. I don't know if he has
that's
Cheyenne
funny,
too.
because that
but-
could be a name. You know what I mean? That's,
Yeah. So Tracy Ring, but to have a personal style thing, like I've never really had that. I just like I have t-shirts. I just what you see is what you get.
Yeah, your personal
I don't have
style
a
is looking
trademark.
cool. Yeah,
I don't have a trademark though. I don't have anything that
No, and
Central Standard t-shirt.
I was gonna say your trademark might be cool stuff that you may have gotten from either Miller or Central Standard.
True.
I think Drew's just looking cool. Like there,
but I don't have that signature.
but you don't have
thing.
the one deal,
No,
right?
Not the one deal.
Mine would be looking, and mine might be like a Tyrese Halliburton stolen valor, just dressed like Adam Sandler most of the time, right? Like if on any possibility you look like today, I have a quarter zip on. Now I will get the hey, why are you dressed up for?
Yeah,
Dressed up
exactly.
for?
That is funny.
What you got? What you got going on here? You're in jeans. You're not. We're not in sweatpants. So I like that. I do appreciate though now that it's caught on. Now that you're big time for it, you can't change up. Right, like
you got it.
You see Ken Rosenthal now every single week in a bow tie.
That's right.
Charles
If
Woodson,
anything,
ascot, right? Charles Woodson had that ascot, like the
huh?
That's what they call the scarf that goes down.
Yeah.
When I would just think about it more of like Spencer should be trying. We should be trying to
market
this.
Market it. Yeah.
We could be making some
Well,
cash
and
potentially on this thing if we really.
The
start
question
outsourcing
came
it.
up. It's like how many flannel shirts does Spencer have? And it's quite an extensive collection.
Gotta be,
And
dude. Yes.
we don't have a
Track
receptionist here
repeats.
anymore, but the packages get dumped at the front desk, and like he gets them sent here.
Smart.
Does he?
Because
Yeah.
otherwise
he gets packages sent here.
Yeah. Otherwise, his neighbors are gonna think he's got a problem.
Honestly, if I was smarter about it, I would just try and look for, I would track it. Like look for pictures every day or like try to remember what he wore if he did any repeats. He's got to have at least 15, 20 of them because I can't think of any. Of course, I haven't checked. I haven't thought about this. I haven't tried to look up Spencer's shirts and done
not yet.
Written down like blue and white or you know what I mean? I haven't
Well,
done
you
that.
got to start tracking it like our baseball pitchigami guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and
yeah.
our guy, our pal Tom Oates, legendary columnist from the State Journal, columnist emeritus. When I think you say Tom Oates to me, and I picture him wearing jeans and the white, crisp white with the blue pinstriped Oxford shirt, just like button down
for sure.
But that was Oates's uniform. That's what
always
he wore.
clean look.
That's what always a clean look. And it's like that's what when I picture in my brain, you say Tom Oates, that's what comes to mind.
And whether it was in
Something
the
different
beginning
for me.
of the weekend or
Style.
at the end of his 4 games and 4-day run, 4 different
doubt.
markets, he's still in
Somehow,
that crisp button down ready to
He
roll.
covered a Saturday night game at Beaver Stadium in Penn State, and somehow he's at the Packers Seahawks game for kickoff.
Yeah, crazy
it
how
was
that worked out, dude.
Miraculous. Oates was an Iron Man. That the feats that he accomplished will never be duplicated anymore.
No.
one has the budget to travel to stuff.
I was going to say the budget would never happen again. However, the grind on commercial flights might not ever happen again. The
All
same
right,
way.
hot take hump days upon us, and we've been talking a lot about the spaghetti feast. Check out the socials that took place in the stands last night and Flannel Fest. But it's time to fire up the hot take hump day machine. 877-794-1973 gets you in, and we need hot takes on the NCAA's decision.
Ooh,
of course they didn't do it on our
Man,
time
my
yesterday.
goodness.
But the NCAA expanding the field of the men's college basketball tournament. Here we were woofing about, the play-ins and when they went from 64 to 68.
Thought that was a problem, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. The biggest thing with the 68 expansion was that the tournament. Everyone would argue this is the play in the tournament. Take me to Dayton. If you remember Steve Lapis, Drew, we had that debate years ago.
Oh yeah.
But now that they've expanded 12 more teams, that's basically one big play-in round. So I guess you have to say this is the tournament now.
How's this going to work? What do we think about this, boys?
I don't like it, obviously. You already knew my answer before we walked in here. That's the way Armen is, but I'm not a fan of it. Didn't need it, didn't want it. It's only about money. But hey, that's the reality we're going to have to live with. I don't think that's a hot take, though.
The field of 76. The spirit of 76. How do you feel about
I was going to say more than anything, the flow doesn't work very well, right? The field of 64 just makes more sense. It's the cleanest cut and it looks the best on a piece of paper. I think if anything that I'd be upset about is how is this going to look on the PDF, right? This is going to be a difficult full print job of where and how you're going to print out your bracket to be able to fill it out with the pen and paper. You just can't do it the same way. It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be brutal.
I don't have as hot and flaming hot of a take as I probably should, because I don't protect the NCAA basketball tournament like gold, like a lot of people do. I do, though, wonder, when does it end up stopping, right? Because at some point it feels like this would just be a pit stop to what ultimately would have to be like 96. Like
128.
If you're going to go at some point, just go and make it the biggest
high school,
that you can ever have. Because this is rolling into college football. In the next 2 years, they'll have a 24-team college football playoff, and that one won't logistically make a ton of sense. I think they've hit a sweet spot with 68, and I think they hit a sweet spot with 12. But to Armen's point, I can't fault them business-wise, though, Drew, looking at how much money this brings in every single time and how the ratings roll to not find more specialized windows to put them on.
The thing is, the driver of this, a lot of people hear this and they're like, oh, that it's NIL. Like, no.
I don't think it's NIL.
And this is driven by power conferences want a bigger slice of the pie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So what they're going to do is they're going to take that the first 4 that we're used to, and it's going to be like the first 12 at 2 sites. And what we've seen with the tournament is what's the trend been in the NIL era?
Chalk.
Well, yeah, but early round games suck.
Early games are tough.
Early games, like we didn't have anybody win advance from the 13 on down. Like nobody won a game, and they weren't even really that competitive.
No.
And then the back end of the tournament is now good. Like, so the
because you get the best teams.
Elite 8 is the best teams, but they're opening this up, and it's not going to give the Horizon League another berth necessarily.
No,
it's going to give another berth to the power conferences.
More at larges. This is like the extra bowls that nobody wanted to watch, except for the gamblers and stuff like that.
The additional money that they make, well, it's going to be like it might make a small profit.
It's going to be a pennies on what they're doing.
It's basically a break even. It's going to pay for the expanded coverage. It's like I just don't see the utility in this.
That's where if you were going to do it, go all in, right? If you're going to expand expand it to 128 or expand it to 96 and do what you ultimately want to do, right? And I feel the same way. We've talked about it with the Giannis thing. Like at some point you got to say what you want. The NCAA wants, as almost every Big Ten team and almost every ACC and SEC team in the dance, right? They want that to be, and frankly, if they're going to do it, just get rid of the conference tournaments on the front end of it for the big time conferences. You can keep the small conferences tournaments so then they can still play their way in and have their automatic qualifier and know that pretty much everybody else is going to be in. So but just say what you want. That's what you want.
When you get to Thursday, it's still going to be 64 like it has been. So maybe I'll wait to fill out my bracket till we get to that.
I think people are going to try and make it that, but it's just different now with so many playing teams.
So
it doesn't fix a problem, and that's my other big issue with it. The new lottery rule I appreciate because they're trying to fix a problem. Nobody had a problem with the way the tournament went. No. You're trying to find a problem, not actually find a problem. You're just trying to.
Well, Greg Sankey had a problem. They didn't get 9 teams.
We're going to discuss
the real power brokers in the sport are the ones pushing this through.
Discuss this as we move forward, but we're heading into halftime. Dolph is going to join us. Scott Dolphin. We'll get his thoughts about this. Hot take, hump day. Get us your hot takes. Doesn't have to be about sports. Can be about anything. Smuggling food into the ballpark. What's your own personal style?
We got an offensive line hot take, which I love on the talking text line.
We are going to fire up the hot take machine, but Scott Dolphin is coming in next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. That's right. It's halftime of the Huddle, halftime of the week, the Wednesday edition. We welcome our halftime correspondent, Scott Dolphin, from the country station down the hall, FM 106. And Dolph got the memo and is wearing flannel today.
He knew.
I did. I watched the Brewer game last night.
You did, and you saw the homage to Spenser.
I did. I didn't know flannel was Spencer's thing.
So you've been around Spenser a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Just like I have. And I was telling these guys, the reason is, I don't think when I first got here, he was wearing flannel every day, but it kind of morphed into that. And now he wears it like every day. Because when you probably remember Spenser from way, way back in the day when it wasn't necessarily flannel every day, just like me.
Yeah. I mean, was he been here as long as you, Armen?
Longer.
Really?
He was here when I first came.
That's stunning.
I first met Spenser through the news talk. He would produce a lot of news talk stuff. But I didn't know flannel was his thing. I guess I'm learning a lot about Spenser the last couple of days.
Spenser is an evolving man. Let's put it that way. He's
coming out of his shell. He's asking questions.
That's amazing.
He's not just a guy with the long arm with holding out the recorder. Microphone.
Right. Getting the mic flag in. That was his thing. Like, I got the mic flag in, Armen. Did you see that? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. But I've been a big flannel fan for a long time.
Well, you're a country guy.
I was going to say, it is a country music. It is a country music staple. I do feel like the one time I think that I've gone out with a flannel on, I think was to a Blake Shelton concert. I think I might have saw Dolph there. Because it was just like the easiest thing to do is if I'm going to fit in, I better get in.
Yeah. Were you behind me in the crowd? Was I behaving?
Yeah, I think I was behind you. There were some a couple of ladies in front of us that definitely weren't behaving, if I remember correctly. They're having themselves a good old dance off in the aisle, if I remember correctly. We had a good time laughing about that one.
Funny.
Whether you like country music or not, I think we can all agree that the flannel shirt and like Daisy Duke type shorts is a good look on the ladies.
Never a bad one.
And the sundress and cowboy boots thing is a good look as well.
Well, one thing about flannel shirts is they never go out of style. I mean, you look back at old Don Henley Eagles footage from 1977. They're wearing flannel shirts.
The buffalo plaid is it's a staple.
That is the hip thing now, right? I don't own any buffalo plaid. We might have a blanket at home that's buffalo plaid, but mostly I've got like what I have on today. It's just kind of the old school.
All right. So the other thing that happened at the ballpark behind the scenes last night was the people up in the 400 level bringing in their spaghetti dinner in the Ziploc.
I saw that on Fox 6. That is hilarious. First, I thought, oh, God, that looks great. Where can I get that? What stand is selling spaghetti?
Giant truck.
Right. Giant meatballs and garlic bread.
I don't care who you are. Everybody wants a nice hot spaghetti dinner.
Yes.
I don't care who you are.
But that was the thing. It can't be hot.
Okay.
It is going to be like the plastic is going to. That's where I'm still tripping up here a little bit.
If you transport it in a, kind of one of those soft-sided, cooler, insulated bags, it's going to be warm.
Yeah, I should be all in on this. I'm struggling to all the way get through.
I was 24, 25 years old when I learned that you could bring any type of food into most Major League Baseball parks. Living in the Bay Area at the time, and my buddy Perry Massini picks me up, and we're going to a Giants game, and he has this bag full of everything. I'm like, did you just go to the grocery store? No, we're taking this into the ball game. You can't take that into the ball game.
Oh, yeah, you can.
And just wait.
Yeah, and ever since
as long as they can see it and it's sealed. And, we were just wondering, though, because we're like, obviously, we talked about what other foods could we smuggle in and have a nice catered dinner.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, a bucket of KFC would work. But then we thought, can you have the bones? Because they might be projectiles. They don't have a bottle cap.
I bet you could have KFC bone-in chicken.
I don't know. That feels like it could get dangerous right
Ribs.
there.
We'll get tenders then.
Well, those meatballs that I saw in that footage last night look like they could have been projectiles.
That's true. Joe West, if he was still on the diamond, would have been talking from the 400s.
They went next level, too, because they had the fresh grated Parmesan. So that was like...
And the garlic bread tied it all together.
That was amazing.
Because again, during the tour that we took last year, the guy was very excited to let you know, like, you can bring in a birthday cake. The only place you can't bring it into is in a suite. Like, you can bring in food as long as you're not going into one of the suites. That has to be individual. So we tested out. We brought a dozen donuts in last year. And you bring that box right on in because the tailgate got stalled out when cars were flooded out on Brewers Boulevard. So we're like, let's take this thing inside. We got a box of Greebies.
And with young kids, Billy, it's almost a must that you have to bring in snacks at least.
Yeah, right? You do realize that clear size bag ends up just being a pantry.
Can you do the same at movie theaters? Can you bring your own Juju bees and Juju fruits?
It's not encouraged.
Not legally.
No.
Well,
Look at that smile. You're gonna get me.
Hey,
You're gonna get me on that one.
Listen,
before they started the whole movie tavern thing, that we used to bring in those grenades. So you up your pant leg, you would take those little 7-ounce cans, and then as soon as the lights went out,
for me, it was I was smarter than that. I'd wait for an explosion to crack my cold one. But wintertime was great because you wear the heavy jacket. I could bring a 6-pack of beer and 3 in each sleeve. Up. Although I remember a long time ago with my girlfriend going to Color Purple, I was so frustrated. I was waiting for something loud to happen in the movie, and it just wouldn't happen. So I took a chance finally, and I cracked the cold one, and I did, and I got away with it.
Can't you just cough while you're doing it?
Yeah, I guess so. I wasn't real.
I was gonna say that, and that's like the easiest giveaway, though. This guy's coughing in the back. Everyone.
Well, back then you probably had ushers in the movie theater that would be watching, right? Or
I think you did actually. They'd stand in the back.
These days, there's no ushers. There's no ushers.
But
are you kidding me?
They have the infrared cameras, so they can see what you're doing.
They're seeing everything.
They're watching everything.
Really?
Those videos that I'm seeing online, I don't think those things are AI.
It's like a Black Hawk helicopter with the heat sensor.
They're seeing it. They know what's happening.
They're seeing what you're doing.
I haven't been to a movie, I guess, in a while.
Nowadays, like everything, everywhere, you're on camera, you're being captured, you're being recorded.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of that, did you see the footage of the Taco Bell fight in Muskego?
Oh my God, the mean streets of Muskego.
I was gasping out loud.
Billy's like, wait.
I got it. Hold.
Oh my God. Billy, it started as an argument through the drive-through window.
Go to this Taco Bell. You're talking about the one on Janesville?
Yeah.
Come on.
And then dude comes inside with his girlfriend, and they're trying to get back behind the counter. Eventually they do, and one of the Taco Bell employees just flattens this guy. Boom! He's out. And then dude comes back. They're getting into a big pushing and shoving match. Eventually, Taco Bell guy pulls out his gun.
Oh no!
And
that's not good.
Well, eventually he fires a shot to get him out of there. But before that, they just trash the place. They're throwing stuff.
They're throwing stuff everywhere in here. Oh my gosh!
There's a good fast food fight, man. It usually starts. The most surprising thing is that there are people.
This feels,
but they're not. They were in drive-thru.
I think the strangest thing is that this isn't in a Waffle House.
Right.
This feels like it is right out of Central Casting of a Waffle House.
You always
fight.
see these things on the internet, but never in our neck of the woods.
No.
So to see that,
the mean streets of Muskego.
But then it gets to be scary and dangerous. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, fortunately, nobody died because it could have been.
Yeah, it could have escalated.
When you start,
Billy.
Oh, wow.
Me this morning watching.
Yeah, you got to get up out of there after that. Like, I guess there's some pride that ends up getting hurt, but when you get taken to the ground like that with one swing, that's where you got to retreat.
And he had his shirt torn off.
Yeah, that's where you got to pull. That's where you got to walk away. You know you lost right there.
And this was months ago, and we're just seeing the video now. But Billy is so dialed in, but he just learned yesterday about the Paige Beckers and AZ Fun romance of the Dallas Wings #1 picks in back-to-back years.
And I'll tell you this, my Dallas Wings t-shirt is on its way. And I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that season opener on May 9th.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
All right, so Dolph, it's hot take update on our program. What is your put a quarter in you? And what is your hot take on the expansion of the NCAA tournament to 76? We're adding more. Take me to Dayton now. We're instead of the 4 games or whatever, we're having more.
I'm actually, at first I'm like, oh, here we go. But we've known this was coming for a while. I don't think we knew this many teams were coming. Did we hear? Originally it was going to be 72 or something.
Yeah.
Like that. But I mean, I kind of like the format. So they're going to do what? 12 games played by 24 teams at 2 different sites now.
Yeah.
I guess
still
it'll be
Thursday
exciting.
You get to 64. So is the bracket still going to be the 64 that we've always done? Because it just seems like that's,
I think that's the format you have to stick with, right?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like, how are you going to consume it? And are you even in the tournament if you're in that?
Yeah, I know. I will adjust. We've adjusted to NFL and NBA and NHL expansion. And as far as the NCAA tournament goes, you and I, Drew, are old enough to remember before it was 64 in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
That's when it went to the 64. So
it used to be 32.
I'm going to say 32, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think about how much happier I became when baseball added a wild card. And I look at this the same way. It's going to add excitement for a couple days. Big
how
deal.
Different would my childhood have been if there had been a wild card in Major League Baseball when the Brewers were winning 98 games and not making the playoffs?
Right.
Totally different life.
Yeah. It's insane to think that even existed.
Yeah.
But it did. But now
we'll move on. But it's just like everything's just watered down. And the tournament, though, and at least now the trend line is that the early games suck.
Well, the thing,
power conferences don't want more berths and want more teams in, but they're dominant already.
I was going to say the bigger conferences are going to be good either way, or okay, right? This is going to let more Auburns in, and
because they're looting the mid majors of talent.
Well, so that's my question: are they going to take away that automatic bid for the majority of these mid majors, or small majors?
No, this is a way to get more Power 5 teams in.
Okay. So I don't think this will take away that. In fact, if anything, it protects it in some ways.
But the tough thing is, like Butchie was talking about it this past year with us, and I'd love to get his take on it. We'll definitely hear it inside Butchie's Den online. But like he had said, most of the big upsets for the small schools felt like they happened in their conference tournaments. You hear this, and first stroke would say, sweet. Belmont, they got upset in their conference tournament, should be one of the at-larges. Well, we know that's just not how it's going to work. It's going to be a Penn State, or it's going to be
them a buffer for the Miami of Ohio, right? Because they were unbeaten, and like if you lose your conference tournament, they're not getting in. Like, come on, like
that's also kind of that was also kind of a unique case. I agree with you, Billy. Like most mid majors aren't getting a second.
I was going to say, like I hope that's the case, Drew, but I doubt that this opens up another one for a MAC school.
Well, in that case, it would. It's a buffer for that, but it's not designed to get another Horizon League team in. It's designed to get in Auburn.
We don't want to get another
Auburn in.
Yeah, sorry, we don't want Bucknell in, even if they were a dominant team in the regular season.
That's what they're trying to do.
I for me think the real issue is you're watering down the regular season and the tournament now.
They're doing this in the women's side, and the women's game it's evolving and stuff, but the women's tournament, it's still. It's kind of like I equate it to where the men's tournament was.
It was. They used to play on campus in early rounds of the men's NCAA tournament, and that's what the women's tournament is now. Yeah. Although, a lot of these power conference teams that are awesome in women's basketball are selling those 2 days out, and you do see some upsets, but for the most part, they pretty much go scratch.
Oh, yeah. That is about as chalky as it possibly can get. What has been the best playoff expansion? Has it been baseball? I mean, NFL's been pretty dang good as it continued to roll through. But it's
baseball.
I don't know if there's any more that you can get.
There's no need to expand the NFL playoffs, I don't think.
No, but I think that's
perfect.
Like I think they're at their perfect spot right now with the 7.
Yeah,
and NBA and NHL, so they're almost too big.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go NFL with the fact that although college football was kind of fun this year too.
That's a tough one for me to say no to.
You know what? I'm still sticking with NFL because in the NFL, a 7 seed can certainly. I mean, the Packers. I would have seen them beating anybody on any given playoff game this past year. Whereas in baseball, Cincinnati went to Dodger Stadium. I think we all knew how that one was going to end before it even started.
It was. They were quickly extinguished.
Yeah.
It is. I know the true baseball purists might not like the expansion of baseball. It's definitely made that October a lot more entertaining. You can see a whole lot more options.
I like it.
A whole lot more upsets, but. The college football playoff, same thing. That one's getting doubled up. If they're going to touch this one, which is their bread and butter and their crown jewel, get ready for the 2014 model coming to college football too.
My concern is, am I going to be able to find all these games? Are they going to be on streaming, or are they going to be on
TV?
Still on True and
Amazon? Problem. Yeah, wherever the money is.
Right now, I have to look up regular season games, and I don't even know where my team is playing.
True TV is going to basically be ABC at the end of this, with how tough it's going to be to find some of these games.
So not the halcyon days for sports fans. Some people believe that, but I don't think
days?
That's not the halcyon days. It's harder to watch. It's harder to enjoy in some ways. It can be there can be some debate on that, I suppose. But yeah, the halcyon day. You like that one?
That's good. That's a good one, Armen.
Okay, there we go.
Would have Marquette made the tournament this year if it was 70?
Okay, did you have to bring that up?
Asking.
Did you have to do that, Dolph?
I'm just asking.
Yeah, our 9-20.
Armen, that's payback for your Sal Frelick slander. You just got paid back with a little Marquette kick to the Nuggets.
Hey, congrats to UWM. Got a couple transfers
from
Marquette.
They did.
Al Amadou used to be at Marquette, and Trey Norman played at Marquette.
Right.
So
100 games. And they got the kid who came from Syracuse from Whitefish Bay, Dominican as well. UWM Panthers making some moves in the portal. How about that?
Bart Lundy using the stay home kind of angle. Which is
loving it. Drew, I have to ask before I go. I'm sure you talked about it, but how much grief did you take for changing your ruling last night?
Not much. Not much. No, it was like it was more of a there's a coin flip.
You got called out on TV though.
This part comes with the territory. That's part of the reason they put me in the chair 10 years ago.
If it was a 3-2 game, they might not have had time to go over by
When
Drew.
I took the job, they said, you got to know the game and you got to have a thick skin. And we think, I've been yelled at by players, managers, Hall of Famers. That's
I'll figure it out.
Vinny didn't even know who's over there.
Who's over there? Yeah. And that's the way it should be. It should be anonymous, like that umpire.
That's funny.
Got it right, though. Initially, I thought, he's got to make that play. It's PFP. They're giving you an out. Take it. but the kid went a long way.
I was going to say that poor kid, that there was nothing easy for that kid last night.
And it would have saved him all of 1 earned run on his line of 8 earned runs in an inning.
He must have been good before this because his ERA only sits at 8.5 after 8 earnings and 1 out.
2.3 something was his ERA before that.
Yeah.
But he has your type of hair, Billy, though, so I don't feel too bad.
And he was working without a net because no one was warming up. The bases loaded, nobody out. Bruce had 8 guys bat before there was an out.
Dude, he kept looking back there like, wait, seriously, coach?
At that point, you just bring a position. Is the 6th inning too early to bring in a position player?
Well, and by the way, how about the heroics of McCann pitching 30-mile-an-hour lollipops that didn't even register on StatCast?
That's awesome.
Throwing the eFIS balls, and the Brewers doing a solid by swinging.
I was going to say hacking away at everything. That's the right way
Fun
of
at the
going
old
about it.
ballpark. Fun with Scott Dolphin. He's representing wearing flannel. We missed the memo. None of us have flannel on.
Yeah, we're just
today.
lame. Sorry.
Here for you.
You're part of the team.
I'll let you borrow the shirt.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks, Dolph.
Thanks, boys.
We'll take a quick break. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time for Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Employee owned for 40 years, your HVAC specialist, go-to guys, if you will, in that arena. Billy, what you got for Who's Hot, Who's Not?
Well, there's a number of places that we could go with. Andrew Hoffman, very much not hot. Poor kid had himself a banner night yesterday. 1 out, 8 hits, 8 runs, all of them earned. Only walked one guy, surprisingly to nobody, struck out none. How about Shane Drowan in for the hot category? 10 pitches, 9 of them strikes last night. Get in, get out, get your work done, and hand it off to Woodford Reserve as he was clean. And Drowan, who's been a little bit of the up and down guy, he had the 4 runs, only 1 of them earned this past Friday, the weekend game against the Pirates, in a game that kind of got away from him late in with some tough defense. He's been an interesting cat where Harrison has stolen all of the headlines, rightfully so, off of that trade with the Red Sox. But Drowan's been a nice little piece that I think we might see a little bit more of throughout the year, Drew. I then think there feels like a little bit of untapped potential there of somebody that they're going to like. Another 2-hit night for William Contreras last night. He finds himself in the hot category. And, hey, man, what about Tyler Black? 3 hits, 3 ribeyes last night. Getting an opportunity to make something of a spot where he has felt like he's been log jammed. There's a lot of guys that are blocking him at the major league level, but you need a bat off the bench. And if he can DH and he's getting those reps until Yelly comes back, we'll see what number 7 can make of himself.
Yeah. Love the fact that he represents his home country by walking up to Rush music.
That's fun. Yeah. He hits Tom Sawyer. That place does get going a little bit.
The Canadian guys batting. Yeah. It's getting to be the point where, you know, you hear Timmy trumpets now and you think of William Contreras, or even if you're not watching the game or paying attention, you hear like the music and you're like, oh, I know who's batting.
Yeah. I mean, my
don't
kid
pay
has
attention to that, but it's subliminal.
Right away, my kid has the little plastic trumpet and starts humming that song right through it because it's one of the catchiest tunes around. In the not category or the hot category as well would fall in the San Antonio Spurs. Man, De'Aaron Fox, 21 points last night. My man was phenomenal. 17 and 14 from Victor Wembanyama. And 6 blocks. I mean, as much as I kind of wanted to hope that he wasn't going to be as great as sliced bread, the greatest thing since sliced bread, like everybody anticipated, and in 4 years, it's going to be his league. Yeah, you kind of watch him and you start seeing, it's going to be hard to be beating that San Antonio team with the kind of players.
And right series they've won in a decade, basically.
Oh. Yeah, 7 years, I think, yeah.
Yep.
And he's been great right away. So
that's true.
No, wait, since 17, so 9 years. You're right.
Yeah, almost a decade. All right, that's Who's Hot and Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling, DonovanJorgensen.com. All right, coming back. More hot takes. Get them to us. It's Hot Take Hump Day on the Huddle.
I'm Doug Russell. We start at American Family Field where the Brewers brought their hitting shoes Tuesday night.
Hamilton slices one down towards the left field corner. Fair ball. It hops up into the seats for an automatic double. A snowman in this sixth inning. They put up 8.
Brewers TV with the big over Arizona 13-2. Game 2 is tonight. Brandon Sproat will pitch against Eduardo Rodriguez. Major college basketball news. Both the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments will reportedly expand to 76 teams effective next year. Expansion has been rumored. It's now here. A formal announcement could come as early as next week. To the ice, the Bruins beat the Sabres in overtime 2-1 to stay alive as the Oilers over the Ducks 4-1. Anaheim up 3-1 in that series. The Wild beat the Stars 4-2. Minnesota up 3-2 in that series. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide left. Fake 396 bag. D hand. C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating on Wednesday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you as we do on the daily between 5A and 8A. It's our power hour, boys. Let's get it.
Come on now. It's the right time to be able to hit this thing.
It is. Absolutely.
Well, as a hot take hump day rolls on, it's also a celebratory day because one of my hot takes to fire up into the 7 o'clock hour, Drew, is we had some beautiful scrap iron sound a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago in honor of Phil Garner. His little frustration venting after games. Hot take, nothing is going to top what we heard 43 years ago today.
Oh, baby.
As we celebrate Happy Lee Elia Day here once again.
Oh, let's go.
Once again.
I'll dig up some of that.
I sent it to your your email account. But yeah, it is there's nothing better than being able to bask in the glow of one of the all-time greatest rants against the fan base that you're ever going to find.
Armen sent us the Hal McRae rant.
Which is again a tough one to top.
It's tough, but yeah, that was Lee Elia. If you're going to be known for something, be legendary.
Right. If you're going to go out, you go out and do it the right way.
Man had a storied career in baseball, but he's known for the F-bomb laden tirade captured by the late great Les Grobstein.
I was going to say, and if it wasn't for Grobber walking around with a 20-pound audio pack around his shoulder, the early days of the audio satchel, we would never have had this. And also, you want to talk about somebody that had everything. In honor of Tom Oates. Les Grobstein was at everything.
No. All right, here we go, guys. You ready?
All right, let's hear it. 43 years ago today.
I'll tell you one thing. I hope we get hotter just to stuff it up them 3,000 people that show up every day. Because if they're the real Chicago fans, they can kiss my right downtown and print it. They're really, really behind you around here. What the am I supposed to do? Go out there and let my players get destroyed every day and be quiet about it for the nickel dime people that show up? The don't even work. That's why they're out at the game. They only go out and get a job and find out what it's like to go out there and earn a living. 85% of the world's working. The other 15 come out here. Playground for the
That's knowing your fan base.
Rip them like the players.
Rip them.
Got guys busting their ass and them people boo. And that's the Cubs? My
Holy
That's good.
my God, dude.
That's,
Nothing better. It'll never get old.
The thing with the Hal McRae one
Downtown.
is it's and printed. Is the visual is better with the Hal McRae because he's throwing the Coke, he's throwing the phone. He's the guy's walking out with the bloody face, the cameraman. So you need
that was
the visual
that was my guy Scoop Alan Eskew got hit with the phone. Yeah. Unbelievable. So yeah, Lee Elia Day, great rants of all time. That's hard to top that one.
Hard to top. And as much as we fans didn't necessarily love when Murph said, "Hey, why are you guys booing? Our guys are playing." We're never going to get Murph, I don't believe, to go on a Lee Elia. But when I hear that, all I do think of is, man, if AI could just put Pat Murphy smiling with all of you guys, all those guys in flannel around, and all of a sudden fire that right out of the mouth, I might watch that video nonstop. That might never get out of my algorithm.
Yeah,
Murph has that in him, but he's not going to let that publicly.
What do you think? 15 years ago, you think Murph could have let one of those things out?
Good point.
In his ASU days.
Changed, yeah.
In his ASU days, I think he could, but now he is definitely toned down.
Well, and Danny P in the Shaw on the talking text line 877-794-1973. Is Murph reminding us all of Ted Lasso?
That's a good question.
Ted Lasso, by the way, Ted Lasso coming back in August.
Oh, it is. All right, let's go.
New season. That means at some point, I'm going to have to binge all the old shows.
I guess I'm going to have to get Apple TV again.
Got to start over.
Okay. Ted Lasso. But coming back August 5th, the new season of Ted Lasso.
I don't necessarily know if he's full, because like the only reason why I would caution against Ted Lasso is that would make him sound like he doesn't know ball, right? Murph knows every intricacy in and out of the game, even though he might say that he likes football and boxing better, right? Like he might enjoy another sport a little bit better, but he's going to continue to have some Ted Lasso-isms in him. But I don't know, unless they start smacking a believe sign when they walk out of the clubhouse, then I'll start putting the Ted Lasso in. And I mean, let alone we don't want him playing. Murph's probably a really good darts player, though.
Probably.
I don't think anybody.
Definitely.
I don't think Mark Antanasio is sleeping on Murph's ability to play darts.
You know, slapping the wall. He had the whole power of friendship thing. Murph's been around too long and has adjusted too much now and balanced his life too well to not be the Ted Lasso type. Like, I don't think he'd get mad like that anymore, really, or go on a rant like that because he's not wound as tight as he probably once was.
Well, Teddy's a little dead. Ted
is different.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ted's rant was a little bit more, because he didn't have the peanut butter out where he was able to grab a little fingerful and run through it. We had a hot take on the talking text line from our friend Matt in Wausau. Hot take: Jagger Burton, your week one starter at center. Sean Ryan moves back to guard. Drew, I had to clarify. Bumping, slim down, trim down Anthony Belton. He said out of a job and moving Sean Ryan over to right guard. I don't know that he's their week one starting center. I do think Jagger Burton has a chance to potentially be one of the guys that starts on that five
at guard
up front.
Yeah, is that where?
Yeah,
I think he could be at the right guard. Yeah,
I would think he's in that mix. Center's not out of the question, but the Sean Ryan thing, they paid him center money, right? And he's like, kind of expect him to take that, and he's got the familiarity and
they want the five best, right?
And especially since there was like the one spot that you kind of feel like you may have unlocked him, right? If there's one thing and one guy that you may feel really good about coming out of last year, their offensive line didn't drape themselves in optimism and glory, and especially excitement rolling into 2026
in the running game. It'd be nice to have some explosive runs this year, one way or another.
And maybe that's where you think Burton adds a little bit of nasty and a little aggression. I'm here to tell you, and Wayne Larrabee was continually singing the praises. He said Anthony Belton is almost unrecognizable how much weight he lost and how slimmed down and trimmed down he looks. That to me, Drew, sounded like Anthony Belton isn't setting himself only at guard, and he might have some eyes towards one of those tackle spots because we're assuming that Zach Tom's just going to walk in off a patella tendon injury and start week one.
That's the rub. If they're without Parsons and without Zach Tom, again, they were missing 3 to 4 of their best players.
Their best guys. Yeah, 100%.
And it's like, Okay. Well, and then it might start the season. Like, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Mm-hmm.
So if Parsons misses what, 2-3 games, is it possible he misses the first month? 4?
In all reality, Drew, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw all 3 of those guys on PUP to start the year. Tom, Kraft, and Parsons. Because I would struggle to think they all
They're going to take the high side of caution.
I would say Tucker's was the earliest in the middle of November, right? The Carolina game was middle of November. That's still a heck of a sprint to being able to be ready week 1. And like you said, high side of caution, I think that would feel like a PUP for both.
And then you get
spoiled
spoiled by the outlier because Watson came back pretty quickly.
Damn near instantly.
But not everybody does.
No.
And everybody's different. Every rehab, every injury is different. Everybody's body chemistry is different. Hard to gauge it.
The tough thing for Watson is we were all standing there at training camp saying like, I don't know. I think this guy could probably, he looks good enough in the sprints. Yeah. It looks like he could probably go. And they still held him out till week 6. Yeah. So I struggle to think that they're just going to roll in healthy as what. I think there's a possibility Burton starts, but I don't know if it moves Sean Ryan. I think I'm comfortable giving him the opportunity to win that job right away.
So good breakdown.
So, all right. So who's your right tackle if it's not Tom? If we assume Morgan's going to hold down left.
That's where I think it would be Anthony Belton would be your right tackle at that point.
That's not. I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
Because he's got the footwork, and last year he looked explosive enough and athletic enough to play outside. And that's where they started him for the majority of the time.
Was that one of the flaws in there's probably a lot of do-overs that they'd like from last year.
Mm-hmm.
But was one of the flaws continually like rolling down with Rashid? I mean, and not hooking him and making a change there?
See, I don't even know if it was as much that. I think it was how they handled the Jordan Morgan development, right? Like, I just still believe if you have somebody that you want to, at the end of the day, be your left tackle, and he's clearly struggling flipping to the right side, to the left side, to the right side, to the left side, back to the right side, now maybe back to the right side. At some point, just let him be a left side guy, because you ultimately needed that with Aaron Banks going down. I think Rashid played well enough to continually play, but very much gave himself an opportunity to have that job taken, right? Like, I think if they wouldn't have had the injuries around at the guard spots, Drew, that might be a less clumsy way of saying it, then they would have maybe experimented, because they were trying to get him onto the field all throughout the year.
That's what it looked like.
But at some point during the year, in the back of their mind, I think they were hoping for Rasheed Walker to play his way into a second contract.
Any of the offensive line guys part of that, the malaise and guys not happy with their roles and stuff? I mean,
I think Morgan would be the one.
You would think.
Yeah, right? I thought he would be the one of like, hey, I'm clearly a left side guy. I did everything I possibly could to bounce all around and try to win one of the spots, and then I still don't get it. But for big guys to be frustrated in their roles, it's just a tough spot, right? It's a tough life to be living if you're going to be the frustrated offensive lineman with your role, because generally speaking, that squeaky wheel ain't getting a whole lot of grease.
It also was not an unbelievable unit by any stretch last year. So if you're frustrated, go take control of one of these spots, go be the best guy you can be on those spots and make the club not move you. You know, that'd be my
I don't think it's a hot take to say it was their worst performing offensive line in almost 2 decades.
I think that's an easy thing to say. It really felt that way, at least in the moment, especially that Browns game. But it really felt that way. Yeah. So I would agree with you, Billy. No doubt. You go back and think of years. Maybe if we went back in our memory banks to try and go through each year and what the guys were, but especially on paper, yeah, man.
It's funny because when we were analyzing the recent draft, and people said who's going to have the impact first. Like I said, if you consider yourself a Super Bowl contender, the idea that you're going to get like that you need immediate impact from your draft class and from the rookies that's folly.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to equate.
It's
that
a bonus,
right,
but it's like you kind of, that's not the blueprint for being a Super Bowl team. It's like, well, if this guy performs in the draft that we've never seen play in the NFL, right? That's like a lot of hope there.
But for some reason,
that
fans
said,
still
though,
believe that. No.
When my answer was McClellan right away, right? Because Cisse may end up being the best guy. He's 20.
Yeah.
Right. So
might definitely
in 3 or 4 years, and it's harder to learn. That position is a learning curve. But I just, as I think of McClellan and what he looked and the way he got better in the second half of an SEC season, I just flashed back to that Baltimore game when they couldn't stop anybody.
Anything. Dude.
And it's like,
yes.
dude, he's got to get some burn and he's got to be productive, and he's going to get the chance to make an impact.
And the amount of snaps, as I've been thinking about it more, you're right. He's going to get the volume because two of the guys that you're counting on right there were two dudes that they banked on being significant players for him last year in Warren Brinson and Nazir Stackhouse.
Yep.
Well, they haven't dominated
They didn't
earn
answer
themselves
the bell.
that playing time.
Didn't
So
answer the bell.
you
Yep.
bring in somebody a little bit more highly regarded and a higher draft pick to take some of those snaps. The other injury is Devontae Wyatt. I have almost like the least concern coming back because his felt more clean break, get back onto the field, rehab through. But staying healthy has been a massive concern for him throughout his career.
He skated on that too. It's like, Christian Watson gets hurt all the time. The guy's a China doll. Like, well, Wyatt's missed a lot of games too.
Missed a lot of games
Missed a
on
lot
that
of
other
snaps, a lot
side.
of
Yeah,
games.
100%. And drafted in the same breath as Quay Walker. Didn't take nearly the amount of heat that Walker did.
Nope.
I mean, didn't make the amount of consistent plays that Walker did either.
It's true too.
So like that's I want to be extremely pumped up and excited. And like you mentioned it, you're never going to walk out of the draft and be like, all right, now ticketed to LA. Like this is now how we're getting to SoFi, winning the bowl. But I saw them in a power rankings at like 7 yesterday. And I was like, ooh, that almost feels a little high. Almost feels a little high. Maybe it's just because they're so far removed from the best that the football was in 2025, and you're still checkered with 5 consecutive L's on the way out. But it does feel like it's going to be a little bit harder to fill out all of their football team right now.
It is hard to transport yourself back to that first half at Denver. When it was like when they were rolling and looking like a team that could be playing in the Super Bowl.
And then things change so quick. Micah, obviously.
You get your first explosive run from Josh Jacobs, and it felt like a decade. It was probably about 4 weeks.
And Zach Tom getting hurt in that game too, right?
The same one.
Yep. Definitely.
Because there were moments last year where you felt great after the Pittsburgh game. That second half was a great comeback. There were moments, but and then to jump on that, we have a kind of a hot take. Iowa 515 on the text line. He said that outside the Packer bubble, the Packers are mediocre. That's his hot take. And talk about the athletic power rankings and stuff like that. The Packers below Chicago and Detroit might be a long year. It is interesting to think about. Do we walk into they are losing talent as well from the free agency. There's a little transition there.
Wow.
How good the Packers will be will be up to debate.
Guys too.
The Bears did.
They
The
lost
Lions,
a bunch of guys.
and the Lions weren't good last year. So there's a lot of ways to look at this, and we know how small the margins are in the NFL. Things change quickly, but are we in for a worse year than we expect, or what the expectations are based on what you say, Billy? I think it's pretty interesting.
But also the development of some of their guys, Drew, right? Like last year, their defense was built upon Edgerrin Cooper being one of like the top 5 guys at the position. He was good. He wasn't that. Wasn't that. So now you see if you can get the development you were thinking in year 2 and year 3 out of some of these guys who you've identified as your core guys.
Will Gannon's first year be better than Hafley's first year?
It was a great question. I think it's got to be if you want this team to do what we hope they do.
Well, definitely. I think I'm going to go with yes, because I think Sutton is going to be a legit dude on the outside, and I think once Micah comes back, that pairing will be forceful. Also, Xavier McKinney can't drop 7 picks this year.
That's
right. Like I mean,
takeaways.
That's one of the toughest parts of if the turnover up and down scale is as dramatic as everybody hammered home last year with the Vikings, well, then the Packers are in for some kind of luck turnover.
We got to change that thing around.
Are we also underrating the change of scenery Zaire Franklin acquisition?
I like that one a lot.
Will he? I mean, we just kind of forget that he's in the mix,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But that to me is an upgrade over what they were running out there.
And he instantly becomes your green dot guy, a dude that has seen everything in the NFL. I'm with you on that. And the other one is where the Gannon to Hafley thing, especially this past year, it sounded really good when Hafley was in front of a microphone. And I'm not taking anything away from his credentials, but it's not like their statistics and their defensive performance all year long.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it seemed like
just jumping into a head coaching spot. They weren't that great.
Didn't it seem like he was better the first year?
Yes, definitely better earlier than last year.
Like you said, when you got a guy ball hawking and picking off passes like the first 6-7 games, that makes you look good.
Yeah, that'll make it a little bit easier. It just they weren't as consistent last year as you ever felt like they should have been. Because man, that first two weeks. I mean, that defense, those first 2 weeks, we were talking about like this is going to be the most exciting thing any of us watch all year long.
They were swarming, they were fast. It was playing, downhill. It was incredible.
And by the end of the year, it felt like you were just hanging on for dear life. So I just
couldn't stop anybody. Couldn't get off the field on 3rd and 20.
And it couldn't have been only a couple of the injuries that you had, because you had injuries, no doubt about it. But there's too many depth questions for me to feel real lock and key about them being one of the most consistent and legit Super Bowl contenders. That being said, last year, day after the NFL draft, I think it was the Tuesday of the NFL draft, Isaiah Simmons got signed. Mentioned it a couple of times. Now they don't get signed onto the compensatory pick. Hot take is this week there will be a new member of the Green Bay Packers from a veteran variety. I don't know if it will be a
Calais Campbell.
I would love it to be Calais Campbell. I would love it to be Calais Campbell.
But it'd be great if it did.
But I think it's going to be one of the name defensive guys who's a veteran player that's still hanging out there. And there's a number of them. Whether it's Joey Bosa, Von Miller, who might be skeletal remains.
Not Trayvon Diggs.
Cam Jordan can still play. Might be Trayvon Diggs. They're going to find him a new number.
They ain't gonna bring him back.
They're gonna add.
Would have already brought it.
They're gonna add one veteran. Well, yeah, but they couldn't until now if the number counting towards their compensatory value. So like, I think there's going to be one veteran signed, and it's going to be rather soon here for the team.
Okay, that's a good hot take. That's a prediction, but we'll allow it. Time for our Current Electric Hero of the Day. Callcurrent.com is the website. And I think we got to go with the guy behind the guy behind the guy, the guy who inspired the flannel tribute at the Brewers game last night. So we're going to give our Current Electric hero, superhero of the day is going to be Spenser Williams. And then let's go to Hunter Baumgart's recap and spin through it again because he mentions the proceedings. Let's do it. Throw it to Hunter. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers get a 13-2 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks on Tuesday night at American Family Field. Boy, oh boy, Sal Frelick got the scoring going early with a home run. Brewers' first home run since a week ago Saturday when Terang homered in Miami. So that stops that streak. And then they scored 8 runs in the 6th inning. Frelick started that inning with a single and then a bunt single by David Hamilton. Have you noticed how much David Hamilton is bunting? I asked him about it after the game.
How much has your confidence grown with bunting in the last month or so, seeing the success that you're having with it?
I feel like I've never really been that good of a bunter. I don't really know what happened. I think it was just Smurf in spring always telling me to bunt, to use the speed, and just practice it every day, and yeah, it's gotten better.
And also, Garrett Mitchell has been in the middle of the offense all season long. Pat Murphy telling us after the game that he wasn't so sure that Mitchell was ready at the start of the season to be at the major league level. He's proved him wrong.
He's hungry. He's hungry. As bad a spring training as you could have, he needed that time. Again, I didn't think he was ready. I thought, hey, send him a AAA, let him get comfortable diving, sliding, and all that kind of stuff. And he's proven me wrong. He's ready, and he's done a really nice job.
So the Brewers get a 13-2 win. They also get a win on flannel night. Yes, a bunch of us wearing the flannel shirts in honor of Spenser Williams, who's been my cameraman for 4+ years for virtually all of my videos on social media, now on the Huddle. So shout out to Spenser. Keep wearing that flannel. This video brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
It's a couple of superheroes.
There we go, baby.
Not all heroes wear flannel, but today they do. Spenser Williams, Hunter Baumgart, the rest of the guys having some fun at the old ballpark. It helps to break up the monotony. It's just like the players when they do the dress-up things on getaway days.
100%.
We got to have that. Flannel night at the ballpark. Current Electric, call current.com. Billy, what do they got going on? Specials all the time.
I was going to say specials all the time, and with the warmer weather getting here, you want to spark up and light up the neighborhood. You want to be the Spenser Williams of the neighborhood and the envy because of how good you look. Well, make your backyard look even better. Your backyard and patio become a part of your everyday lives. Call our friends at Current Electric, outdoor lighting specialists, and the superheroes. They got a special for the month of May coming up, starting on Friday. $150 off any outdoor lighting package. $150 off any outdoor lighting package. Show off the landscaping you've been working on. Keep your family safe. Current Electric can help you and also slide an extra $150 into your pocket. That's the move. Call Current Electric. Call current.com for more information.
When we come back, our season finale conversation
happens too soon every year
with El Jefe. The Admirals, they ended their season on Sunday in Winnipeg with a loss to the Moose.
Stupid Manitoba.
The Moose will be moving on. The Admirals will not be playing in the conference finals for the 3rd straight year, but we'll talk to Jon Greenberg and put a bow on the season and talk a little puck and look forward to next year. El Jefe is next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Back on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Drew, Billy, and Armen. Oh, hail to the Chief. Hail to Jon Greenberg, El Jefe, president of the Milwaukee Admirals, friend of the Huddle. And it's our last visit of this 2025-2026 season. Greeny, welcome to the program. And we're bummed that it's over, but we got to say it was a great ride as always.
Well, thanks, guys. It's certainly unfortunate that it ends in April. We're not used to that around here, but it was a really fun year. And thanks to all you guys for helping me spread the word and everything that the station does to get our games on the air and get us out there in front of everybody.
Well, and John, you mentioned it, to have a season where the attendance hits different record numbers and consistently getting a incredible turnout night in and night out. Is it difficult to allow yourself, or how long will it take for you to sit back maybe and enjoy and smile about how successful your year was? Because it ends too quickly, and the sting of it is always difficult to think about that, this quick after the season ends.
Yeah, certainly you want your team to go longer. We had our team meeting with everybody on Monday. The exit interviews were all taking place, and I really encourage people, if you want a good listen, is to listen to Aaron Sims' podcast, Let It Simmer, where he does exit interviews, and it's an hour and a half this time of talking to every single player, or just about every single player, plus Harris and myself, about the season. And I think once we kind of get through that whole process, the guys are clearing out now today. Most of the guys are leaving today, heading off. We actually had a couple players go back to the ECHL to participate in the playoffs. So, it does kind of go crazy at the end once it's time to be finished. It's not like you just pull out the plug and it's all over with. It's guys are heading back to wherever they're going. They're getting their marching orders for what to do during the summer. We're getting ourselves cranked back up for next year. So yeah, there's a mourning period. This one's a little shorter than normal because obviously our playoff run was a little more abrupt, but we immediately go into getting ready for next year.
Jon Greenberg joining us from the Milwaukee Admirals. Their season ended in Manitoba over the weekend on Sunday. Heartbreak, that doesn't begin to describe it, especially when you win the opener like that. But Greeny, what does the offseason look like? It's going to be a little bit longer for you guys. Does that mean you get more creative and even better theme nights and promotions and stuff? Billy had a good point. For people who don't work in sports, you always say it's like, you measure success by wins and losses. Yeah, to a point. Mm-hmm. But you guys off the ice were hugely successful this year, as like Billy alluded to. And, part of that is what you guys do in the off season to get ready to roll once October rolls around. So what does that look like? When is the retreat going to be? When's the brainstorming? When does that process begin?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's, first, my staff has done an unbelievable job all year long of working really hard to pull off all the things that we've done this year. We did some pretty special things with emo night, with our hockey romance night, with our ASL night, with so much other stuff going on. We've actually submitted ourselves for some league awards that we hope that we'll get. They're a great opportunity and validation for the work that we do. So there's been a lot of time spent kind of summarizing this past year, and there's a board in our office where people can go and write ideas of things that they want to do maybe next year, even the year after, and that board was full at the end of the season. So they're already starting to think about things to do for next year, and yes, a little extra time is certainly a good thing for that, but I guarantee every single person on the staff would rather still be playing. But yeah, the creative juices are going, and everybody's getting ready for next year already.
Well, there's no question that you guys are always, and your staff is always on the cutting edge of marketing, game entertainment, creative. You mentioned theme nights, but any sort of creative angle that always, I think, touches the pulse of what the trends are, or what the in this meme culture we're in. And I'm sure you saw last night, maybe you didn't, but if you did, you will soon, I'm sure. all the spaghetti sneak in. We've been talking about it all morning. The group of Brewers fans that snuck in spaghetti. Now, what's the weirdest thing, or is anyone? I know you're always walking the concourse and you're always right there in the front end of it. It's a situation's a little different with you guys and the arena rules and things, but we know how hockey fans are. Has anyone tried to sneak anything unusual into an Admirals game like that? Can you remember anything like that, or is it just your traditional hockey fan stuff?
Yeah. I think the goofiest thing so far in Milwaukee that I've seen for an Admirals game, which actually got us in a little bit of trouble, and I didn't have the greatest response to, was the guy who brought in the raw bratwurst, and when we scored a goal, decided he was going to throw them on the ice.
Oh yes,
come on, that's good sausage.
We caught the guy right away, and I just said, "What is your thought process here?" And he's like, "Well, they throw the fish, in a lot of places, and the octopus and everything. This is Milwaukee, so I thought I should throw bratwurst." I said, "Well, that's a terrible idea, and we should."
And you got a tough job there, Greeny.
He was asked to leave.
And we are all dumber for listening to your idea. You get no points.
Nobody wastes bratwurst in this state.
Come on, it's a terrible idea.
We saw the rotisserie chicken in the Duck series.
I saw one of my favorite thing that I saw, Greeny, was somebody with a box of Glazers, and I don't even know that it was a bad. I was just jealous. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
You buy it? You selling these? Like, can I snag one of those? It is a fascinating deal. Now, I don't know how much you can build off of, but whenever you see something on the internet, I imagine there might be a spaghetti in a bag night, similar to a walking taco that you might see on that suggestion board. So I'd watch out.
Well, as long as they don't make the spaghetti now and hold it for the next 6 months, we'll be okay. But
well, I know our friends at Saz's can come up with something at their stand, right? Yeah. I mean, they've got to be
ribs in a bag.
Yeah, there you
bag
go.
of ribs.
That would be a good one.
Yes. And our buddy Bert Lauderdale was involved in this. He's a big Admirals fan who goes to a lot of hockey games.
So you might be thinking about it. Yeah, there might be pasta night.
He would probably be in the middle of that viral moment. But Greeny, how closely will you follow the Calder Cup playoffs now that they're going on? Will you divorce yourself of that? And I know you can't. You're a hockey guy. You got to watch the NHL. So do you have a rooting interest? There's no Preds. You guys are out. So do you have a rooting interest in either tournament bracket? There's some good action going on in the NHL. That Boston Buffalo game last night was pretty sweet. So who are you rooting for? Who are you watching? Who you like?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would tell you that I've been on Buffalo for about a month or so. I just love the fact that city hasn't been in the playoffs for so long, and how excited they are, and they've got a really fun young team, and it's people don't see a lot of Buffalo Sabres games on TV, so that's my team that I've decided to attach myself to, which means they'll be eliminated shortly. But in our league, there's a little bit of I don't want to pay attention to this now that I'm not participating in it, but I can tell you that I'll look at the scores every night and see who's doing what, and I'm very curious to see how long it takes Grand Rapids to dispatch of Manitoba, because I don't know that either one of us was going to get past them. They've had a whole 10 days to get ready for this, but I think everybody would expect that Grand Rapids and Providence should be playing for the championship, but we'll see how it all plays itself out.
And you are with me then, Greeny, if I'm reading between the lines, that like there's certain people that are like, well, I want to lose to the team that wins the championship. I'm petty. And I'm unabashedly into it. No. I want you to lose as soon as possible, and rudely so. I'd like it to be in heartbreaking fashion, right? Sweep. Like I generally hope it to either be as gut wrenching as possible, or just get
sweep.
Yeah, ushered out in an ugly sweep. So I'm glad you and I are in the same boat there.
Yeah,
absolutely. I used to think I wanted the team to beat me to win the whole thing, but screw them.
Yeah. Thank you. Screw him. I don't want to look at that jersey again. I'm not trying to look at that sweater anymore.
Speaking of that, I wasn't mad that Rockford lost. I was pretty happy to see that. They lost to Texas. So we had our run-ins with Rockford this year, no doubt. But it's been it's no doubt it's been a great year. And I have to say, if we're doing emo night again, man, that's a night I'll never forget. I've never worn a dog collar yet for work, but now I can say I have. So there you go. But thanks for another great year of fun, entertainment, and great hockey, Greeny. You work so hard. You're a big part of it, and I know Admirals fans everywhere appreciate the work you guys do.
Well, that's very kind, Armen, and thank you. And I can tell you that on our league submission for emo night, there is video of you with your wig and your dog collar on. So
let me tell you,
that is in there.
If I can help us,
so you know.
yes, if I can help us win an award, it'll all be worth it.
Oh,
it'll
it's
all
so
be worth it.
incredible.
That would be,
Incredible.
that's pretty funny. All right,
that's fantastic. Hey, Greeny, thanks for a great season. Thanks for joining us. We will catch up with you down the road. And if you got anything to promote, I mean, I know Roscoe's all over the place at parades and festivals and doing stuff, and you got your shows, and we'll watch Aaron at Summerfest and just hang out and have some cold ones, I'm sure.
I'm sure, and just so everybody knows, garage sale has been scheduled. We'll get this announced, but we'll break news here for May 30th. So
there we go.
May 30th garage sale.
Yeah, everyone waits for that every year.
Love that.
Get some gear.
Fantastic sale. Love
and
that
October
stuff.
10th will be here before you know it.
That's true. Yeah, we'll enjoy the damn summer while we can. Thanks, Greeny. Appreciate it.
Thanks, boys.
Jon Greenberg, president of the Milwaukee Admirals. Sadly, their season came to an end Sunday, but it was a good ride. We had a lot of fun catching up with Greeny on a weekly basis on the Huddle, and we'll fire that up again. And he has a standing invite to join us whenever the hell he wants.
Anytime.
That really is the toughest thing, Drew. Like for some of the teams that you were covering, there was the death march of like, all right, sweet. September 30th can't get here soon enough.
Cars are packed.
But man, when it ends so abruptly like that, and you don't necessarily know, like he said, obviously it was a puncher's chance. You get a chip in a chair, you get a shot. But there's some deep runs that they've made in the playoffs before, especially as of late. The season just ends so abruptly, so quickly, that it can be hard to, at any point within the first 3 weeks, look back fondly at it. But they had a great run, especially behind the scenes. The business side of it was booming all year long.
And I think it goes without saying, every team in that league is always young, at that level. But this was a exceptionally young team, and there's a good foundation set. I think a good amount of the guys should be back. So hopefully bode well for the future next year for another good one. But it was a bummer not to get home games in the playoffs too. So we were so close to that. Those are always the most electric when the crowd gets crazy, but we'll be back soon enough.
This portion of the Huddle brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. orthowisconsin.com is the website. If you have a nagging injury, hip, shoulder, back, knee, ankle, elbow, wrist, or if you just have a sports injury that popped up, go to the best, get world-class care right here close to home at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, orthowisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. When we come back, we're halfway through. We're going to be over the hump, but we have one last feature.
Oh, and I got a good one for you.
It's our Wake and Bake story presented by happyplacehemp.com. That will help us close up shop next. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Closing ceremonies have arrived already for the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Time for our Wake and Bake story, brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code Huddle. The other ones have kind of fallen away.
Yeah, they're Dunzo.
25% off and free shipping. Try the Drift Seltzer. Try the Drift Gummies. Try all the gummies. The Delta 8's personal favorite. Sleep aids, muscle creams, lotions, pet products. It's all there for you. 25% off with the code Huddle at HappyPlaceHemp.com, or stop in and see the boys in Muskego. They'd like to see you. They are they can talk about any number of topics.
Yeah, and there's not going to be any Taco Bell like shenanigans going on in this Muskego location. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to stop in, say hi, maybe talk some ball, get some products, and walk up out of there. Fellas, I've been struggling with the because I said I got a good one here. However, I almost feel bad saying it because the Wake and Bake story once again comes to the Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel storyline.
Here we go.
Because as you wake up this morning, now the video is some TMZ guy walking down the tunnel and walking through the airport all the way to the car with Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
And kind of with a 4K, stick camera, questioning and interrogating him, asking him as many questions as possible. Do you think you're going to get fired? What do you think accountability sounds like to you? What do you think it looks like at this moment? And, man, you got to be on some kind of adrenaline and or ridiculously confident in and self-assured that you're not going to get knocked the bleep out walking up to big Mike Vrabel and acting like this guy was. I mean, as I'm listening, and I'm all for, I'm not advocating this, but at any moment during that 1:38 video, I was waiting for Vrabel to turn and just give the quick flinch, Drew, and just say, hey, two for flinching, because this guy is letting him have it through the airport. They got pictures of his wife hanging out through the airport. They were hunted. I loved the picture of Vrabel buying the sweatshirt.
That's okay, right?
Now you're making me feel bad for laughing and enjoying the story so much. So now we got to chill out a little bit here.
We're getting to a point, yeah.
Now it's getting a little aggressive.
I agree. And then a picture of his wife. I'm like, leave her alone. Like, come on.
Not her fault.
She didn't do anything. Leave her alone. Like at what point is it too much where we shouldn't be invading? I don't know what the right word is. Prying anymore. Like there's a point where it's like feels uncomfortable to me. I don't know what that is. Definitely when it comes to taking pictures of his wife and stuff like leave these people alone.
Yeah, it's still not sure I'm there because I'm still reading every bit of it. Right. I'm still opening every story. Now, sadly, we're getting to paywall season, Drew.
Yes.
Where the Daily Mail is firing out paywall articles. I didn't realize this was going to reach those levels. That we're going behind the $5.99 month paywall to be able to get the information on Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel.
They know people want to know, and it's going to produce, and that's just the reality of it, right?
They're looking at every tweet of hers during her time covering the Titans.
Going in, dude. It is a deep dive.
Yeah,
and really quick, speaking of that, on that ilk, and maybe this is for hot take, the dude that stole the ball from the little girl yesterday, now we're going too far with it. All right, you people are trying to get him fired. It's a little ridiculous on that end too. So we as a society tend to swing too far in the other direction a little bit. Maybe we should relax on that a little bit too.
How can you get that fired up about a guy that you've never met, that you'll never see?
That's the thing.
Just
I agree, he shouldn't have done it.
Your life at all.
But let's laugh at him and move on. Enough of this trying to find out who he is, where he is, dox him, all this. Enough of that. It's just gone too far. All right.
Everybody's a private investigator online.
That's for sure. And a good one at that. And they find it quick.
Because people can get themselves frenzied mad about things they really shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Go touch grass, look for a bird in the trees, and just enjoy yourself.
So do you really look for the birds, or do the birds come to you with that super sweet birdhouse that just AI CGI videos?
I haven't gotten the new one yet. I can't wait because I'm pretty sure there's a bluebird around me. Or a blue jay, yeah.
A blue jay?
Yeah.
When will this die down for Vrabel, or will it? Does he need to take a leave of absence?
Well, that's the other part of the
time. I mean,
like the wake and bake part of it, Drew, is like there's the internet rumors that the Patriots are eyeing Mike Tomlin in case this goes south. There's no way he's losing his job over this.
I wouldn't think so.
I can't. The worst case, he was the lead football decision maker, and he was MIA during day 3 of the draft. I think that's about as much of a suspension as you can get for an extramarital affair in the NFL.
And then he's missing the early stuff in Elliott Wolf's it's business as usual. No, it's not. Your head coach isn't around.
Definitely not business as usual. Definitely not business as usual.
Not that.
No, and it's also Drew in the spot where this was. I remember when Vrabel said, any idea of what is going on here that is thinking that it's more than just a harmless interaction is laughable. The only thing laughable now are every one of the statements they have.
Your denials.
I still contend.
I mean,
we are such a forgiving society. You just tell the truth, and none of this stuff happens.
That's the thing. I mean, the details though, more secret rendezvous, the casino picture after he was fired, the canoodling at a New York restaurant 6 years ago when she was still engaged to her now husband, and then like the Spotify playlist shared.
Yeah, the
during a
Spotify
losing streak.
The Spotify playlist is awesome. It did remind me of like Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens in High School Musical, where she just starts singing through the middle of the crowd to inspire him, and Troy Bolton comes out and drops 15. Right, like, hey man, you're in the middle of a 4-game losing streak. Let me send you some Kesha to fire you up, Mike. That'll make you feel so much better.
Man, crazy world.
It's looking a little diabolical, and like she's now receded into the background.
Drew, she's focused on motherhood now.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Okay.
Focusing on motherhood.
All right. We're focusing on getting through the rest of this week. We made it through Wednesday. We're over the hump. Hope you enjoy your Wednesday. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and we'll see you at 5 a.m.
And highly caffeinated again. Peace.